One. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Monroe Mann back again. Name of this stream is Monroe Mann Explains It All. We're going to talk about why focus sometimes could be the worst thing you could do in your life. We'll talk about some current events. I think I'm going to play a couple of songs, and then we'll call it quits. And the main thing is I'm experimenting now to see if there are going to be viewers coming in now at this time. I did a live stream 2 days ago around, a little bit later, it was around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and only about 2 or 3 people ended up coming in to see the live stream. And so it's possible that it's this particular time slot. So I'm going to give this about 5 to 10 minutes to see if this time slot works. And if not, hey, nothing ventured, nothing gained. But at the very least, I'm going to still share my message here about focus because it's important for people to know. People are always told you need to focus in order to succeed. And that you got to focus on one thing. Just pick one thing and become the best you can at that. And that's your ticket to success. And people tell me all the time, they are constantly, not constantly, but every once in a while, someone says, oh, Monroe, you do so many things, you're so talented, but if you would just focus on one thing, you would be such a big success story. The only problem with this is, you don't know what to focus on. Because what if you focus on the one thing that was destined for failure? And this could happen to anybody. And people talk about, look at Elon Musk, look at Steve Jobs, look at Michael Jordan, and look at Tom Cruise. They all focused on one thing, and that's what made them successful. I go, no. That's not what made them successful. They just happened to focus on the one thing that just happened to be successful. They focused on the right thing at the right time in the right market, presented to the right people, etc. And that's why I'm getting all these text messages that are coming in, really annoying. Okay. I don't want you to focus. Hello, Jeremiah Mabane, great to see you. I don't want you guys to focus on one thing and put all of your time, energy, and money into focusing on one thing, because what if you spend money, time, and energy and you focus for 20 years on the one thing that you would never be successful at? That's the problem with focus. Hey, Pat back, chosen one. So many people give you advice that you need to focus. Most of the time, the people who are telling you that you need to focus are people who are not successful and have nothing, and they know nothing about what you're doing. Or they are successful, but they're successful at doing one thing. And they really don't know why they succeeded. They just lucked into picking the very right thing to focus on at that particular time, and it took off. And that's the main message that I want you to talk about here is be careful about focusing. It's basically, if you focus, you're gambling. And I'll look at the comments in a second. If you just focus randomly on one thing and you think, because this is what I want to do, that's great, it's what you want to do, but you may end up spending 30 years focusing on the one thing that never gets you success. And what I'm going to end up talking about in this live stream is explaining why you need to focus on multiple different things in multiple different fields, approaching things at multiple different angles, hoping that one of them will get through. I don't want to make a sexual analogy, but if we're talking about sperm, when a male ejaculates and there is sperm going to the eggs, it's not just one little swimmer. There are a lot of them. Why? Because you don't know which one is going to succeed. You want a very high sperm count because it means there are going to be so many more, much higher likelihood that one of those is going to reach an egg and allow the egg to be fertilized. It's the same thing. Think about seeds, right? It's the same thing with farmers and seeds. You don't plant one seed and you hope that potato seed or tomato seed or rose seed turns into a flower or a bush or a crop. You plant massive numbers of seeds hoping that at least a few of them will end up growing and becoming beautiful, delicious crops for you to reap. I know someone here found my analogy about about sperm and fertilizing of the eggs as awkward or whatever. It's just 100% true. I'm talking about statistics here. You have no idea what is going to succeed, which means you need to try to attack from as many different angles as you can. And you think I need some examples here? I'll give you some examples in 1 second. I just have one. Preppy Life says hello. Someone says, I'd like to thank you for streaming consistently. Someone says, I put your videos on when I'm doing the house jobs. Hey, I'm happy to be here and happy to give you support. And I'm very sorry to hear of the passing of your loved one. Preppy Life is high. And Egg says, A, how did I end up here? It's spam. So anyway, what I'm talking about, and one of the best analogies that I give here is the example of my YouTube channel. I tried for 18 years just doing regular videos. And for 18 years, I got some subscribers, I got some likes, I got some comments, but I was not getting a huge influx of new fans and people who were interested in me. Hey, what's up from Sydney, Australia? And Grant is asking for requests. And for 18 years, I did what everyone said you're supposed to do to succeed as a YouTuber. I made multiple videos. I tried different attempts, did this, did that, but I was focusing. And the problem was, focusing on something that doesn't work does not bring success. How do you get success? It's by focusing on the right thing at the right time to the right audience with the right message. And what did I start doing? 2.5 months ago, I found YouTube Live. And after 18 years of struggling as a YouTuber, I started to do live streams, and then guess what? I get like around 600 new subscribers a month now, and I got enough watch time where I can submit for monetization in 2 days. And today I don't have a huge number of people here. I've got just about 9, but I don't care. That's still more people who usually watch my videos. And the point being is, how did this happen? By me not focusing. There's so many people who focus stubbornly on the exact same thing over and over and over again, and they never try something new. So they never end up finding success because they think focus means focusing only on one thing. So what I'm telling you to do, and I'll get to all of the comments and I'll answer the questions in a moment. I'm telling you, do not focus just on one thing, because you do not know if the thing that you focus on is going to be the thing that succeeds. And so anything that you're working on in your life, make sure you're diversifying your approach and make sure you are trying to find, okay, let me make sure I try to attack this from this angle, and from this angle. Don't just focus on one. Same thing here. I'm doing live streaming on YouTube. I'm trying to figure out how to do a live streaming on X/Twitter. I'm trying to figure out how to get a following on Rumble, because I'm not going to focus just on YouTube. That's a disaster. What if YouTube goes out of business? What if YouTube servers just disappear? What if I get demonetized, which apparently happens to YouTube streamers? Well, what's the solutions? Do not focus single-mindedly on one thing. I'll give some actual examples from the world of business and in sports and things like that, because I think it'll help solidify this message here. But first, let me go into some of these messages. And we got Kristen say, sing it, let go, let it go. I don't do covers when I'm talking about, I do covers on a separate thing because covers have there's a chance that it could get a copyright strike. So I only do my original songs on my live streams, or I'm also talking about current events and things like that. Louis Edits is here. How you doing? Liam says, I look unwell. No, I actually just went for a swim in the pool, and I don't know, maybe the lighting in here is bad. EAP says hello. T says, how confident are you that Donald Trump will be elected this year? I'm still confident. I still think that Donald Trump is going to win. I believe that there are going to be debates. And I believe when that happens, I think Donald Trump will do better than Kamala Harris. I think J.D. Vance will do better than Tim Walz. But the big question is, are they going to happen? I don't know. And that's the big issue. But I still, you look at all the battleground states, they're still talking about it's neck and neck. And I think a lot of these battleground states, I think Trump could edge Harris out. But I think it's still too early to tell. And it really depends on how many people are going to go out to vote and how well informed these voters are on election day. Let's see. Frieza's saying weird stuff. Okay. Grace, who's back again? Grace is back. Hey, Grace, it's great to see you. By the way, hope we can get up to 5 likes. We got 2 so far. I think this stream at least deserves 5 likes. 2. That's not doing so many. I want to give you it's been like a year. I think it's been about 3 weeks, Grace, since I last saw you here. So the example of why focus can destroy your life and destroy your career. Some of you may or may not have heard of a company called Blockbuster. Blockbuster Video was the #1 place you would go to get DVDs to watch on your home DVD players back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Okay, and then Netflix started to come around when streaming started to show up. And believe it or not, Netflix was not always a huge success. And Netflix started to grow, and Netflix gave Blockbuster the opportunity to buy them. So basically, Netflix started to grow, it was doing kind of well. This was back when they still had the business model of you go online and you add movies and TV shows to your queue, and then they send you the DVDs in the mail. It seems like it was like 400 years ago. And Netflix said, hey, Blockbuster, we'd like to sell to you. And Blockbuster said, no. Blockbuster said, no, because we are focusing on the social experience that people enjoy when they go with their family to the local Blockbuster store and buy or rent the videos. And they said, people love to see their friends at the Blockbuster. People like to get introduced to movies or video games that they never would have seen otherwise. So Blockbuster said, we're gonna focus on what we know works, and we're gonna turn down your offer from, we're talking to Netflix, we're turning down your offer because we don't want it. And again, we're talking about in this live stream about the importance of not focusing, because focusing can be a huge disaster. And I'm trying to dispel this myth that focusing is going to make you a success. Focusing is what drove Blockbuster out of business. So Blockbuster said no to Netflix. We don't want to buy you. We're going to continue to focus on exactly what we do, which have these stores basically in every town in America. Netflix was unknown. Blockbuster was internationally known. Well, fast forward to today, Blockbuster, their last store went out of business, I think, in 2021. Netflix has taken over, and now Netflix has inspired all of these copycats who are copying Netflix. Got Disney Plus, HBO Max, Hulu, and Amazon Prime. Those are all copycats from good old Netflix. So that's my first story to remind you, be careful with what you focus on. Because if you just focus on what you think is gonna always work, guess what? You're dead. The solution is you need to diversify. What Netflix should have done is said, you know what, Netflix? You know what, let's talk more about this. What they should have done is bought Netflix. Because then Netflix would have been called Blockbuster. But they didn't do that. But what did they do? They decided to just focus on, here's the thing, nothing lasts forever. This is the Roman Empire thing that I talk about a lot, and we talk about politics. And America is basically, quote unquote, an empire, even if it's not called that, even though if it's a representative republic. But Americans are pretty much an empire across the globe. But you get cocky. The Roman Empire never thought it would collapse. The Greek Empire never thought it would collapse. The Byzantine Empire never thought it would collapse. The Mayan Empire never thought it would collapse. Every empire collapses. And Blockbuster Video had the empire of videos. They decided they were going to get cocky and just focus on that and not diversify and see what the next big thing is. They died. This is what you need to do with your life, guys. You guys need to make sure that you don't focus blindly and stubbornly on the wrong thing simply because you want to be right. If you want to be right, think of this. Do you want to be right or do you want to be successful? I'd rather be successful and that's why when people say, someone asked me earlier, who is going to win? Is Donald Trump going to win? I am never going to say with 100% certainty, absolutely. How the heck do I know? I've learned from this Blockbuster story that you don't know. Kamala Harris could win. Kamala Harris may not be the nominee. Donald Trump may not be the nominee. A lot could happen in the next 3 months. Donald Trump was nearly assassinated 3 weeks ago. And you're asking, is Donald Trump going to win the election? Is Donald Trump going to be alive on November 4th? Will Kamala Harris be? Will I be? Will you be? You have no idea what's going to happen even in the next 5 minutes. Let me catch up on some of the chat messages here. Thanks for the likes and thanks for joining me. And John Tracy's here. Adam says 5 likes. Liam's asking, what are Harris's policies as opposed to Trump's? So, Harris wants open borders and Donald Trump wants closed borders. In other words, Harris wants a globalist America. Donald Trump wants an actual America. Harris wants to, it seems, redefine what it means to be a woman. Donald Trump wants to keep women, women, and men, men. Harris wants to raise taxes on any company that you start in America. And if you have a foreign company that operates in the US, they want you to pay very high taxes. Donald Trump wants to reduce all of those taxes. One thing that Kamala Harris wants to have no tariffs on basically on any imports from China or Philippines or any of these companies where manufacturing is inexpensive. India. Donald Trump wants a very high tariff on them, and I believe that should be the way it is, to encourage the production of products here in the United States, made in America. Those are just some of the differences there. They say, and in many ways I believe that's the truth, this really is an election between capitalism and Marxism. And some of you who are voting for Harris may go, that's not true. Well, that's because you don't understand what Harris stands for, and you don't know what Tim Walz stands for, and you don't know what the woke left really stand for. It's not a vote between Republicans and Democrats. It's a vote between Republicans and the far, far left. The far, far left are seeping into every aspect of the world. Look what's happening in the UK. And if you're an American voting for Harris and you don't know what's happening in the UK with all of these riots here because the government is just going bonkers, and is infringing on free speech and letting the people come in who are not vetted, who are people probably will try to mischaracterize my opinions on immigration. By the way, I used to be a former immigration attorney. I know about immigration. I don't have a problem with immigrants. I love immigrants. I love other cultures. I prefer living outside the United States than I do living in the United States. And I have friends who are illegal immigrants and people who I associate with. So there is a individual factor when you deal with the human to human factor of, okay, there are people here and they got here illegally, and I get that they've got lives here, and it was because we allowed them to come over the border illegally. So maybe in some degree, we give them a little bit of assistance. But having some compassion for the people who are here and who are not committing crimes is very different from saying, I want to have an open border and let more of those people come over here. I want the American border 100% shut down to anyone who is illegal. 100%. There should never be anyone that gets into this country illegally. Never. Asylum, that's fine. Refugees from war-torn countries, I get it. You're coming over here because you've got a job? Awesome. But no more of this. I'm just going to come over the border. From wherever I am in the world, I'm going to fly into South America, caravan up through Latin America, come over the border. Mexico does nothing to help. And they're complicit in this. Why? Do you know? Check this out. Check out one of the highest income producers for Mexico and Latin American countries. It's from money from illegal immigrants in the United States sending money back home to their families in Latin America. That is so messed up, which is why many of these Latin American countries encourage this mass migration up north. These governments, it's not that they're trying to find a better life up here. It's that they're coming up here, invading this country, taking jobs away from our citizens, and then sending all that money. It's not going back into the American economy. Most of the money that the illegal immigrants earn here, it's going back home to make Mexico rich, to make Guatemala rich, to make Honduras rich. And most people don't know this. Most people have no idea about the flow of money. The governments in Latin America, whether they admit it or not, they want people to come over here illegally because they know they're going to get jobs and they're going to make far more money. A dollar in Honduras, guess how far a US dollar in Honduras goes? Guess how far a US dollar goes in Guatemala? I mean, Trump is not being racist. Trump is not trying to keep people from Latin America down. No, Trump is trying to make America more successful and keeping the economy strong here. If we have all these people here who are coming in to work in America, but most of the money they're making is getting sent out of the country, that is not helping the American economy. I hear this all the time. We need all these immigrants here because they're the ones who are they're contributing so much to the economy. No, they're not. They're contributing to the home country where they're sending all their money back to. So, anyway, that's my answer to Liam Jones right there. Grace is talking about 10 likes. We're already up to 17 likes, Grace. Morty Money is asking, how do I know all this? I was talking about the story about Blockbuster this morning. Hey, I'm just very well educated. I read a lot. I watch news sources from all around the world. I don't just watch Fox News, which is an amazing news source, and everybody should watch it because there's very good information on there. But I'll watch some CNN, I'll watch some MSNBC, even though I do not like their politics at all. But how can you be a good intelligence officer? That's my job when I was in the military in Iraq. I was an intelligence officer. You don't just talk to your friends and go, hey, what do you think the enemy's doing? No, you got to go and find out and infiltrate what is the enemy thinking too. And I'm not saying necessarily that CNN and CNBC are the enemy, but they certainly have a different political view than me. And I would like to know what the other half of the country thinks. And that means also sometimes watching The View. You've got to open your eyes. This live stream, the message here is do not focus. Focusing on anything too strongly can make you blinded to the narrowing opportunity in front of you, and it blinds you to the broadening opportunities that are opening up on left and right. And no pun intended when I say the left and the right, because we're talking about current events and politics. But literally, too many people in this country and around the world, they only have blinders. Even on X, I follow some people who I don't agree with at all politically, because I want to see what are these people going to say. I leave comments on people's accounts on X I don't agree with, because that's going to put more of them into my For Me recommended feed. I want to know what everyone is thinking. That's how can anyone, so many people who are voting for, not only for Kamala Harris, but also Donald Trump, they know nothing. They are I consider them very uneducated people, because they're in their own echo chambers. I actually stood up for Tim Walz on X the other day because I got really upset seeing all of these right-wing people criticizing him and calling him a communist because he taught in China. I taught in China twice. I'm not a communist. And the analogy I made is, so anyone who comes to teach in America is automatically a capitalist? This is the type of backwards thinking we have on both the left and the right, around the country, around the world, is people do not, too much of this correlation is causation. So just because Tim Walz went to China, he's a communist. I'm not voting for Tim Walz. And I think some of his policies have a vibe of maybe communism, Marxism, this and that. But do I know if he's a communist? No. And certainly, is it because he spent time in China? 100% not. I've spent a lot of time in China. It did not make me a communist. I love China. I speak Chinese. And I have many friends over there. But that's a problem. And then there are people talking on the left about Donald Trump, saying that he's a threat to democracy. Based on what? Based on what? Joe Biden just went on the news and actually said, I'm really fearful that if Donald Trump loses, we're going to have a civil war because he will not allow a peaceful transition of power. I mean, be responsible, Mr. President. Mr. President, you've got to be a beacon of hope. You're actually telling the world and Americans that if Donald Trump loses, you're encouraging them to have a civil war? That's not very good for the people on the far, far right who already believe that the elections are rigged. You basically just said, if Donald Trump loses, there's going to be a civil war. I mean, this is bonkers, what everyone is talking about in this world. And some people have said that they appreciate me at my live streams here because I'm kind of somewhat of a moderate. I am voting for Donald Trump. And it's not because, oh my gosh, Donald Trump is the most amazing guy ever in the world. He has a lot of faults. He's human. But comparing the policy roadmap of Donald Trump with the policy, I don't even know if there is a roadmap. We're just looking at what Kamala, it was so funny. Kamala Harris, she gave a speech the other day. And she said, under my presidency, we are going to reduce inflation. We are going to reduce the wars in the world. I'm thinking, you're the current vice president. Your policies are why there is inflation now in the United States. It's why there are all these global conflicts. Why should we vote for you, Kamala Harris? Because we want to continue with what we've got going on? Oh my gosh, I really, really, really hope not. Homer Simpson is asking if I listen to Elvis Presley. Oh, thank you very much. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, but I'm very happy you're here, Homer Simpson. All right, do I like the Beatles? That's right. Ooh, Ooh, I got your love. Yeah. Ooh, I got your love, babe. 8 days a week. It's a very good song. Liam is asking. I've read the book, and Netflix was on their butt, and Blockbuster didn't envision the idea of streaming being viable. 100%. Let me give you another example again, because this live stream, the topic is focus, and why focusing could be one of the worst things you could possibly do in your life. We were talking just a moment about Netflix, and Netflix focused on the right thing. Blockbuster focused on the wrong thing. That's why focus is not necessarily bad. Focus is bad when you focus on the thing that fails. And that's what so many people tell me, Monroe, you should just focus on one thing. Focus on one thing and you'll be successful. I asked them, what one thing should I focus on that you can guarantee will be successful? They keep your mouth shut and they realize, oh, maybe you're right. People for years have told me, Monroe, you've got it. Your YouTube channel needs to just be focused on one thing only. You got to stop doing music. You got to stop doing music and then doing comedy and then doing, I have to plug in my phone, and then doing, what else? And then doing improv and then doing current events. You're confusing people. It's going to be a mess. It was a mess for 18 years until I started doing the live streaming. And everybody's telling me that they absolutely love, that they have no idea what they're gonna get every time they come on a live stream. Sometimes it's me, Monroe, talking, doing current events or comedy. Sometimes I'm playing music. Sometimes it's Billy Bob doing his Louisiana shtick. Sometimes it's Rocco talking about his New York Mafia days. And sometimes it's Kino Surf talking about surfing. My diversification is actually what's making my live streams so successful. And I'm not patting myself on the back. It's not like I have 1.5 million viewers. I've got 25 viewers and I got 3,500 subscribers, more or less. But guess what? 2 months ago, I had 2,000 subscribers. And nobody knew who I was. And suddenly now I got fans. It's not because now, it's funny, there is focus. Because I'm focusing on doing live streams every single day. So in that sense, focus is working for me. But the content of my live streams, it's not focused. It is, because it's all about the Monroe Mann world, the Monroe Mann universe. It's about inspiring people, educating people, making people feel great about their lives, improving their psychology, whatever it may be. But it's not focusing on a microcosm on a very small thing. And the same thing, right now I'm on YouTube. It's a mistake if I only use YouTube to build a following. What if I get demonetized? What if YouTube shuts down? I'm trying to also do something on Rumble. I'm also trying to do something on X. There's a new social media thing called Blue Sky. I don't know, maybe I'll take a look at that. Who knows? But in anything you do, guys, diversify, diversify, diversify. 100%. And then that goes back to the other example of bad focus from a business standpoint. Remember the Blackberry? Back in the 2005, 2006, around there, Blackberry was at its heyday. Some of you watching don't even know what I'm talking about when I say Blackberry. That's the result of focusing incorrectly. So back in the day, so first there were cell phones, and they were the old Nokias, where they had just a regular 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 keyboard. But then Blackberry came out. It was the first one with a keyboard on the phone. And T-Mobile came out with the Sidekick. T-Mobile Sidekick was similar, and it had this keyboard. And these keyboards were amazing. And because of these keyboards, Blackberry and T-Mobile Sidekick took off. And again, Blackberry and T-Mobile Sidekick both got very cocky. They got very cocky and stubborn in their single-minded focus because they assumed they had the blinders on and they said, I see success and it's doing exactly what we've been doing. A business phone that has a keyboard. When Apple came out with its iPhone, the first one. By the way, I was one of these people who laughed at the Apple iPhone because I had a T-Mobile Sidekick at the time. And that also had a keyboard. And this is when Snoop Dogg was the mascot, the representative for T-Mobile. And he goes, everybody's got to have a sidekick. And I got one, and I had the T-Mobile Sidekick. Apple came out with this first iPhone. Any of you who have a phone right now that you're watching this on, If it has a screen on it, a touch screen, guess what? It's Steve Jobs who did that. Samsung did not come up with it. Google did not come up with it. Microsoft did not come up with it. It was Apple. And everybody laughed at Apple, particularly Blackberry. And Blackberry said, and you can talk, there are interviews with some of the CEOs and the heads. They said, there is no way business people are going to use an on-screen keyboard. They need the precision of a real keyboard. That's going to fail. So what did they do? They put on the blinders and they stubbornly focused on the exact same road they've been going on, which is what so many of our friends tell us. Just gotta focus. Just focus 100% and you'll be a success. No. If you focus 100%, the only guarantee that you'll be success is if you happen to focus on the one thing that ends up being successful. And in my life, I have learned over and over again, 99% of the things I focus on fail. And so I've learned I need to diversify everything. It's a concept I call synergistic diversification. Maybe we'll talk about that later today, maybe on a different live stream. But Blackberry did not do any synergistic diversification. They just single-mindedly continued creating Blackberries with keyboards. About a year and a half later, they realized they had made the mistake that would basically put them out of the phone business. Blackberry still exists today, but they do not make phones. I think they're making some software, this or that, but I mean, they're not big players anymore, at least in the phone field. They lost because they focused. So I hope I'm making some sense here. I want you to focus, but only on success. That means taking a very big picture and acknowledging that what you focus on could be a big failure. So what do? I focus on lots of different things and I bring them all together under the umbrella of Monroe Mann, Inc. So great, I've got my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel has lots of different characters. I've got the X account. I've got my film company. This other film company I'm working with, my law practice, my financial management practice, my savings accounts, my investments. I mean, everything is just me diversifying so much so that no matter what happens, I'm okay. So let me go back and read some more comments here. Apple TV, says Grace. Asia says hi. Do you think Biden should have banned TikTok? Yeah, TikTok's a very weird. I don't know why they gave TikTok a whole year to restructure itself and find new management. I think they should have said, TikTok, you've got 2 months to either divest and sell or you're banned. Because a whole year gives them a whole lot of time to finagle and maneuver and this and that. I don't know what's going to happen. I know that the deadline is coming up pretty soon. I don't know how long it is, but it's been many months since TikTok was given that ultimatum. And I'm not on TikTok, partly because I just think it's really, I don't know. I don't think it's worth my effort to put so much time and effort into something that I think could just collapse and get banned. Maybe if everything gets resolved and it gets divested and it gets sold to an allied company, then maybe I will end up joining TikTok, but not for now. We got Grace says, where's Evelyn? She just wrote to me. She said she's still at summer camp and she's going to be back in a couple of, like a week or two. Corn Pop says, did you guys read in TMZ? A hotel worker reported they found, oh boy, I'm not going to finish that comment. Jesse Pinkman is back in the house. Jesse, you've been gone for a very, very long time. It's good to have you back. And Liam Jones says, my guy is thinking he's blowing minds by referencing hubris as a downfall. Liam, I don't think I'm blowing minds. I'm just being myself, and I'm sharing some of the lessons that I've learned over the years. And some of them I think are quite profound. So I don't think I'm blowing minds, but I think I say some pretty profound things. And just smile. Let's see. Thanks, Google. Nice to see you. Jesse, yeah, we got 3,000 watch hours. Not only that, we hit 3,200. I think we're probably at, after this live stream today, we'll probably be about 3,050. 3,250. So I think by the end of August, we'll also reach the second level of monetization, which is being part of the AdSense program. So that's exciting. And Michael says the UK is not so great right now. Yeah, I've been hearing this from a lot of people. Jesse has to tell me something. Okay. Yeah, Michael says knife crime in the UK has gone way up. I've talked about this a long time. A lot of times people think that if you just ban guns in the USA, then violent crime will get reduced. I just think those people will end up finding other violent ways to hurt people. I'm not saying that we shouldn't curb gun crime and gun violence and death by suicide, suicide by gun in the United States. We absolutely should. And those are issues that we need to address. But I also don't think that guns is just the problem. As you guys said, it's the problem in the UK is gun crime is going up. And there's gun crime. I mean, think about some of the incidences, like on that French train. There was a knife attack. They did actually have a gun, actually. I think that guy did have a rifle. When those 3 Americans saved the day. It was a good movie, by the way. And Liam says he's from the UK and I'm spouting nonsense. I don't know if those things have to do with a related thing, but no, I'm just reporting what's going on in the news. And there's crazy bonkers stuff going on there. There's crazy bonkers stuff going on here in the United States. And yeah, the following one says, I live in the UK and everyone's smashing up hotels and all sorts. It's pretty much the consensus. And there are riots all around the country. And let's see. Jesse says they officially shut down YouTube in Russia a few days ago, which means Yili, the Russian bestie, can't be on the live streams anymore. Jesse, I was wondering why Lily wasn't here. Guys, we're talking about how focus can cut you in, right? That's the only way that there's any connection that I have with this fan Lily, and that Lily has a connection with the Monroe Mann channel on here. Once the government interfered, guess what? Done. This is the same reason why it's worth making sure that you have other ways to reach out to people. If you meet a friend and you get that person's cell phone number, say, hey, can I get your WhatsApp? Can I get your Telegram as well? Can I get your email? Because you never know when you're going to need another way to contact somebody. Get somebody's mailing address. What if there's an EMP attack and everybody's phones are gone, all data's gone, and even Apple's backup and Android cloud backup is gone? Do you even know your family's phone number? Do you remember the address of where your friend lives? Could you send that person a message? It sounds crazy, but diversification has a lot of applications in many different fields, in many different situations. And let's see. Yeah, Mr. Goodcat says, tell her to use the Discord. Goodcat, I think a lot of the folks, their parents don't let them go on Discords, or they can't download it or something. I'm not really sure. Good to have you here, Goodcat. The following says, Michael, you from London. Frank lives in Southampton. Very good. And it's gotten worse since 1999. Yeah, I think anyone who does some, it's the same thing with New York City. The liberals on the left, they like to say that crime is not worse in New York City, and that everything is great and homelessness is great. There's no problem. If you were in New York City 5 years ago, and then you go to New York City today, you go to Manhattan, that place is like the Wild West now. You walk, there are people drug pushing everywhere. You can't walk around in Times Square without getting accosted and say, you want some meth? Do you want some drugs? Really terrible. Homeless people everywhere. People walking around who are so scary looking because their clothing are so torn up, their faces look so ragged, and they look kind of mentally, struggling. I mean, these people should not be walking around outside. These people should not be selling drugs right in the middle of Times Square. New York City is back to what it was in the 1980s and early 90s. And I 100% blame Democrats for that, and sanctuary city policies for that. It's appalling. I don't know what Mayor Adams and the New York City Council are doing, but they are destroying what was once the greatest city in the world. Now I think two of the great cities in the world are Paris and Shanghai. I don't know how if those countries are going to last. And what else we got here? Fallen One. Okay, I love England. Monroe, so serious. Hey, Team Awesome. Hey, sometimes you got to talk about some serious things here. And Liam, none of us are trying to bait you or anything. There are some serious issues going on in the UK right now, and knife crime has gone up dramatically. And apparently the police are arresting a lot of people for very innocuous, quote unquote, crimes, thought crimes, if you will, for saying the wrong thing on the internet. And now Twitter and X and the news has the effect of maybe magnifying how severe things are. So for example, like I tell you that New York City is like the Wild West now, and if you go there, it's not as crazy as the Wild West. But you know what? If you went to the Wild West back in the 1800s, it's probably not like it was in the movies either. It's livable. There are people living there, but more people have gotten pushed in front of New York City subway cars in the last couple of years than ever before. So something is going on. There are mentally struggling people on the streets of New York who should not be. There are criminals on the streets of New York who do not get arrested, or they get out because there's no cash bail. I mean, this is a bunch of woke left policies that are destroying many of these great cities in the world. And it's happening in UK. The good guys are getting arrested, and the bad people are getting freed. In New York City, good people getting arrested, the bad people getting freed. The good people are not allowed to come into the country. The bad people just come over the border without any passport whatsoever. I saw something funny. Somebody said, why do I have to pay $200 to get myself a US passport in order to fly out of the country? But you don't need to pay anything to walk over the southern border at Mexico. It's so bonkers. You want to leave the country, you have to pay. You want to come in? Just come on over. Welcome. Welcome to the United States. All right, what else we got here? TL Key says America is finished. I think we're finished if Kamala Harris wins. I think it will be the beginning of the end of the American empire. That's my take. If you have a different position, you can certainly let me know in the chat. But I think Donald Trump is actually the defender of democracy, which we don't even have in America. Let's see. London has changed drastically. Yeah, we're not dead yet. That's true. Jesse's getting a brain aneurysm. Jesse says, how many watch hours do you need to get Super Chat? I already got them, Jesse. All I need to do, the watch hours are on a 5-day delay. So I hit 3,000 watch hours 3 days ago. And 2 days from now, 5 days later, I'll hit 3,000, and then the button will appear saying apply. I'm going to have a live stream in 2 days. We're going to push the button together. But then I have to wait, it says, an average of 30 days before your channel gets monetized. So it could be earlier than that, or it could be, I don't know. Who knows how long they're backed up for or whatnot. But let's see. Fingers crossed that they do monetize the channel. And David says, watch all of the news channels to get the bigger picture. 100%. And this is why, I'm a big fan of China. I look forward to going back to China, but I'm not a big fan of them censoring most of the world's media. Most of my friends in China, the only way they can find out what's going on in the rest of the world is through a VPN, a virtual proxy network, which is now getting harder and harder to get in China. But the truth is, I can't criticize China without criticizing the United States, because the government is censoring it and everybody knows it. Here, the government is censoring it through private companies. I don't know if you heard of GARM, but this was this collective of advertisers who decided we're going to try to take down companies that we don't want advertising dollars to go to. And one of them was X, when Elon Musk bought X. And they tried to siphon money and advertising dollars away from X. And of course, I really think this was sanctioned in many ways by the Biden administration. The Biden administration at least was tacitly approving it. They didn't care. They're excited because they don't want X. Just like Europe is threatening constantly to ban X. Unless you start taking down posts that we, the European Union, deem offensive and inappropriate for our viewers, the EU is basically trying to do what China's doing. And I mean, eventually it may come to the fact, this is my theory. I don't think Elon Musk is going to cave to Europe. And if it'll be a big test to see. Is Europe going to choose the path of free speech? Or is Europe going to take the path of China and just ban Twitter, X, completely? That's really good. It's going to force Europe to determine what side they're on. Now again, someone might say, well, America's doing the same thing for TikTok. Maybe, well, not right now because it's not banned, but they want it to be under new ownership. So it's a little bit of a different situation. Joshua Taylor says, like Trump supporters, totally blind. Not all Trump supporters. I agree with you, Joshua. There are some Trump supporters who I think have their blinders on too. I'm not one of them. I'm a Trump supporter, but I have seen every single side of the issue, of all of the issues, and I know what Kamala Harris and Tim Walz thinks. I know what Donald Trump and J.D. Vance thinks, and I'm making a very educated decision based on history. I think a lot of people voting don't even have any idea about history. They just vote because somebody told them, oh, did you hear that this guy did this? And that's what he's voting. Oh, you got to vote. Oh, wow, blah, blah, blah. People need to think for themselves. And Liam says you served. Yes, I was in the United States Army for 9 years. And I served at Ground Zero during the 9/11 ordeal. And I served in Iraq and Kuwait, mostly in Iraq, during the Iraq War. And hey, chicken, how are you? Yeah, Jesse, there's nothing wrong with teaching in China. I want to go back and teach in China again because it's awesome. My students are awesome. The people there are awesome. The Chinese food is delicious. And I get 1-hour massages for $10 US. And they are amazing. Better than here, you get a massage for $150 and they just kind of, go like this. Have you ever had a massage like this? And in China, it's like, rah, rah, and it hurts so much. And it's a real massage. Larry's saying Kamala Waltz, okay. Feeding poor children. Those children should starve because they have lazy parents. I don't know what you're talking about, Joshua. And Dimitri's saying ni hao. And Joe Biden must have woke from a dream, says Abdiel. Larry's telling me that I'm lying like Trump. But I don't respond to anybody whose grammar is bad. So Larry, when you write your with the correct Y-O-U''RE, then I will consider you as an educated person worth conversing with. Until that time, try again. Casserole says the American Civil War Part 2. Never before have we been closer than we are right now. I could foresee it potentially happening. I don't think happening in the next 3 months, like in November 4th, but I mean, things are devolving. Things are devolving. Joshua Taylor says, you're not moderate if you vote Trump. He's a gangster. No, sorry. I'm pretty much a moderate, and I'm voting for Trump. So it doesn't matter that you think I'm not a moderate if I vote for Trump. The truth is, you're not a... Look, if I said the same thing to you, you're not a moderate if you're voting for Kamala Harris. Well, you may be a moderate, and you're just trying to do an anti-Trump vote, so you'll vote for anybody else. or you are really extreme and you really support the policies of AOC and Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. So I think that's another uneducated statement to say that. It's very inaccurate. You're not moderate if you vote for Trump. There are a lot of moderate people voting for Trump. And the truth is, as Elon Musk pointed out, Trump's policies are far more moderate than Kamala Harris and Tim Walz's policies are, because the left has gone completely far left woke. And the conservatives, the Republicans, are still basically the same exact positions they've had for, can I tell you this, do you realize Bill Clinton and Joe Biden both used to support very strong borders and were anti-illegal immigration? That was a Democrat policy 20 years ago. Now, it's a Republican policy, and the Democrats have gone even farther left. But the truth is, the Republicans have always wanted strong borders. That was never an issue. 20 years ago, if you actually said, I want more open borders, you would just lose the presidential nomination from day one. Joshua says, which policy caused inflation? A, massive spending. Number two, unchecked spending. Far more spending than happened under Donald Trump. Number two, a war on businesses. Number three, what was the third thing? Just massive printing of money. What causes inflation? It's printing of money. That's how inflation happens. That's 100%. I have my bachelor's in economics, but I don't even need to have a bachelor's in economics to know that. More money has been printed under this administration than in many administrations prior. You can't just keep printing money. You have to stop. You have to, it's just absolutely mind-blowing. People what would you do to stop the inflation in the United States? You have to have confidence in the stock market. You need to stop spending money all around the world and in this country that we do not have. And we need to build up confidence that the dollar is worth something. We're not doing any of those things right now. Nobody trusts the dollar now. People trust Bitcoin in many ways more than they trust the dollar. All right. David says Trump is a New Yorker. That's how they talk. The same attitude. Liam says, I didn't realize this fella's mentally ill. He's talking about serving in Iraq. No, I was a very right sound mind when I chose to serve in Iraq, and I'm very proud that I served in Iraq. And do I have some PTSD and some difficulties from being in Iraq? Certainly. But clearly, Liam, you did not serve your country in a war. So exit stage right, please. Which policy calls the Ukraine war? Joe Biden being extreme. I talk about this all the time. It's simple math. When did Russia invade Crimea? Obama, Democrat. When did Russia invade Ukraine? Biden, Democrat. When did Russia do nothing? Trump. The world is scared of Trump, and rightly they should be. The world should be scared of the President of the United States. The world was not scared of Obama. The world was not scared of Biden. And they will certainly not be scared of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Oh man, but they will be scared of Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. And these bad actors in the world will get in line when Donald Trump is elected, if he is. And I've said this before, you watch, Donald Trump is elected, there's peace in the Middle East, like he did last time, and the Ukraine war will be over. I can't wait. I want Trump to win so much just to show how much of an amazing statesman this guy is. He knows how to negotiate. Kamala Harris, no. Tim Walz, no. Larry says, Trump is not getting back in. I'll be glad to get rid of him. Well, that's not very good to be making such, I'm going to delete that because we don't want to be making such threats here against anybody. And Team Awesome, I thought Redbox really cooked Blockbuster. I said Team Awesome. No, Redbox was another potential Blockbuster killer. But the problem with Redbox is they had the same blinders on as Blockbuster, which was Streaming video is never going to be a good thing, number one. And nobody wants to get their DVDs sent to them by mail. That's the problem with Redbox and Blockbuster. They both made the false assumption that people like to go out of their house to go get their videos. Now, let me tell you this. I think societally, we lost something very strong with the drop of Redbox and the exit of Redbox and Blockbuster. The only thing that gets us out of the house to go watch something on the movie screen now is the movie theater. And when was the last time you went to a movie theater, first of all? And when you did go, how many people were there? The last movie I saw was Twisters, which was so-so. There were maybe 4 people in the movie theater, including me. What the heck is going on? It used to be you could go to a matinee at 2 o'clock and there'd still be 20 people in there. So I don't know what the movie business is going to do, the actual physical brick and mortar movie theaters. And then, by the way, if you guys have not gone to the Apple store and tried the Apple Vision Pro demo, it's free. It's a virtual reality device for your head. So cool. Creepy at the same time. And when it came off, I was very disoriented because it was so weird to be back in the Apple store. But literally, one of the demos was they put me inside a virtual reality movie theater. And I was literally sitting in a movie theater, and the screen looked like it was 100 feet away from me. And I was looking at it, and it was huge. And I could not believe it. I was actually in a movie theater, but I was sitting in the Apple store with these goggles on my head. And it helped me to realize that I was like, oh my gosh, this could be the thing that kills the movie theaters. And Netflix, and here we're talking about Netflix. Netflix needs to be careful, because I think in 5 years, I think these virtual reality things are going to take off big time. Not only helping people who have depression, I think it could help people who are bedridden, who want to travel. One of the things on the Vision Pro, it took me to this lake in Alaska. And literally, I could look around, and there was a bear over there. And it looked like it was really there. And I turned to the left, I saw birds flying up there. And then something happened in the water, I saw a fish jump out. And it was, it's so weird. It sounds like I'm exaggerating. Go to Apple and set up the free Apple Vision Pro demo. It will blow your mind. I don't have them yet. It costs $3,500. If I had an extra $3,500 just sitting around, I would get one. Maybe when I do the super chats, when I get my monetization, I'll set aside saying like every $1 from every super chat goes to my buy an Apple Vision Pro thing, and then we could do a big thing with Apple Vision Pro. Maybe I could somehow put it onto the camera here, and I don't know. Anyway, Netflix needs to be careful because they could fall victim and become the next Blockbuster. Right? And we're all talking right now about how Blockbuster got so focused on the wrong thing that they lost the next big opportunity. Netflix could be doing that right now if they don't start investing, I think, in AI and investing in and virtual reality, because something is going to happen. And mark my words, in 5 years, I think virtual reality will be it'll be as ubiquitous as our cell phones are right now. Another thing with the virtual reality, I put it on, and they had this video playing that they recorded of this family playing in the park. It literally looked like they were right there in the park, and I could go up and walk to them. And when I walked forward, I got closer to them. Pretty soon, that's how these live streams are going to be. It's going to be like, you're going to actually be able to see me like in my apartment walking around. And it's going to be 3D. And I'm going to be able to somehow like have 3D avatars of you guys. And I get to see and the bigger the avatar of you, it's like it shows you how big of a fan you are or something. I mean, things are happening here, and I don't know where Netflix is going to do. But already Netflix is starting to lose. Because how many of you have at least like 3 or 4 streaming platforms that you pay for? Right now I pay for Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, and I think that's it, Acorns TV, to watch Doc Martin, which is an amazing show from England. I know we're talking bad about England, but Doc Martin is one amazing British TV show. So funny, so charming. You guys should check it out. Okay, David says 10% for the big guy. That is right. That's right. For those who don't know, Hunter Biden called his father, Joe Biden, our current president, the big guy, in the emails that he was saying when he was communicating with the Chinese business partners. Vinay says hi. Larry Baker says goodbye. He's going to let me finish lying. Thank you. But I'm not lying. I'm actually in a sitting position in my rocking chair. And thanks, Mr. Cricket says bye, Larry. Breaking Bad. Not sure what anyone lied about. Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, David, you're right. That was not a good thing for him to say about Trump. We live, laugh, and love Monroe's characters and himself. Thanks, Jesse Pinkman. And what else we got? He can't listen. You're drinking the Kool-Aid, David. Is this chat not making sense? Oh, Dimitri says blue sky is very liberal. Interesting. I didn't know that, Dimitri. Now, how do you know that, Dimitri? Are you on blue sky? Or maybe I think I remember hearing that. I got to turn on the other light. It's getting a little darker. Blue Sky was the alternative to X being bought by Elon Musk. I think that's the case. Very interesting. Okay. And Liam says 2005, 2006, you would be deployed. I was deployed. I was at Fort Drum for most of 2004 training. I arrived on New Year's Day in Kuwait, I think it was. We were there for 21 days, training, desert training at Camp, is it Camp Buring? I think it was Camp Buring in Kuwait. And then we did our 550-mile convoy around January 21st from Kuwait all the way up to Tikrit, Iraq. That's one of the reasons I was nominated for a Bronze Star is because I was the lead navigator for both of the convoys. And I did all the intelligence gathering and planned the route and made sure I knew where everyone was going. And a lot of people made wrong turns on different units, and people got ambushed. And both of the convoys got, and I was inside one of the Humvees. We got from Kuwait all the way to Tikrit, 550 miles, not one wrong turn, and not one ambush or casualty. And some of that I could certainly say was attributed to luck, because you never know. But I think part of it was also the fact that I did a good job as an intelligence officer. Joshua Taylor says, you say Biden's rhetoric caused an assassination, but Trump's rhetoric didn't cause the insurrection. Well, I don't think it was an insurrection, first of all. Donald Trump, this has been proven so many times, Joshua. Donald Trump offered the National Guard to Washington, D.C. Nancy Pelosi and the mayor of D.C., Muriel, whatever, said, no, we don't want any support from the National Guard. Then, when all these insurrectionists showed up, the Capitol Police just let them walk through. There was no attempt to push them back. There was no attempt to say, hey, they just let them walk through. What kind of insurrection is it if the Capitol Police are not fighting back? They actually allowed it to happen. So, Joshua, you should do a little bit more research on that before you... The left calls it an insurrection. It was not an insurrection. I mean, an insurrection is people going with guns, people firing, people, killing people. More people died during those George Floyd riots, spurred on by the left, than died or were injured during the January 6th insurrection. So I think we're comparing apples to oranges right here. I will say this, though, Joshua. Trump did say some things that were a little bit, what's the word? I always forget the word. I don't want to say exaggerating, but someone gave a very good argument for what Donald Trump is. He's a New York real estate agent, super agent who became president. And so in all of his speeches and this and that, he's still a New York real estate agent saying, look at this, it's huge. This is a 3-bedroom, beautiful. It's got a beautiful view, and the view is actually of a wall. Not really lying, but not really telling the truth at the same time. But Joshua Taylor, Donald Trump never caused violence. Donald Trump said, come to Washington and protest peacefully. It's been proven time and time again. He said, peacefully, protest peacefully. He didn't say, bring your weapons and take over the government. That's where your argument falls apart. He never incited an insurrection. He said, come and protest peacefully. So if you can spin that to say that that incited an insurrection, I don't know how you can, because you just can't. All right, what else we got going on here? And Casserole's watching on my Samsung smart fridge. That's really cool, Casserole. That's the way to do it. Maybe it's the Samsung smart fridges that are going to put Netflix out of business. That's possible. And Shaken Bottles is asking how you feel about the upcoming war. Let's hope it can be averted. Let's hope it can be averted. And remember here, man, our live stream here, we're talking about focus and not focusing on the wrong thing. I think instead of focusing on all the things that could go wrong over the next 3 months, 4 months, let's focus on the things that could go well. Maybe everything works well. Maybe whomever wins, Trump or Harris, does an amazing job. The truth is, is Joe Biden my president? I didn't vote for him. Is he my president? Yes, he is, because I'm an American. And Americans have only one president. I don't like that baloney about he's not my president. Of course he is. He's the president of the United States. So, whether Trump or Harris wins, that person will be my president as an American. And I'm hoping sincerely that whomever it is will do what's in the best interest of the country and its people and do a great job. That's me trying to be positive and optimistic. And Liam says, is anyone going to tell him Blackberry was bought by Apple? Maybe it was bought recently, but it doesn't negate the point that Blackberry basically went out of business and they no longer make cell phones. That's the main point, Liam, is that Blackberry was the #1 cell phone manufacturer in the world. And now they're not. So it doesn't matter if Blackberry was bought by Apple. Apple did not buy Blackberry's phone manufacturing vision. I think they probably just bought, if they bought that, I don't even know if that's true. If they did, they only bought the trademark. They didn't buy some amazingly successful business. And let's see what else we got here. What's up, dude? What's up, Chris Juarez, David Foster? Enron is a strong buy. And that, this idea of don't focus, be careful about focusing. It's the same thing that applies to your stocks and investments too. Do I only invest in one stock? No. And David's talking about Enron, which was for those who don't know, it was a stock that was completely fraudulent. And anybody who bought that stock basically went bankrupt, lost everything. So you should diversify your investment portfolios too. People say, no, but if you could just focus on, imagine if you had bought Bitcoin in 2019, you would be a millionaire. You would be, because you focused on the one thing that actually succeeded, Bitcoin. But what if you bought Enron back when that was doing really well? You would have gone completely bankrupt. So focus only makes sense when you are 100% certain that you're focusing on the right thing, which is why I'm never going to put all my money into one stock. I'll never put all my money into one crypto asset. I'll never put all my money into one real estate asset. I'll never put all my money into one business venture. I hope that YouTube becomes an actual career for me. How awesome that would be if a dream could come true and I'm making money by educating and talking to people around the world. Awesome. But I'm an idiot if this is all I focus on all the time. Even after, first of all, this could potentially not take off on a large financial scale. But even if it does take off on a large financial scale, it could still potentially fail at some point. Which is why, again, I'm looking at doing live streams on X. I'm doing maybe live streams on Rumble. I don't why I was talking about Blue Sky, and maybe even though it's liberal, I mean there are liberals, there are left-wing people on X. Maybe I could be one of the more conservative, moderate people on Blue Sky. Who knows? But it applies to everything in your life, guys. Diversify, diversify, diversify. Only start putting a larger percentage of your time and money into one project when it looks very clear that that is the one that's starting to bring in lots and lots more money. Obviously, if my YouTube live, let's all of a sudden I start to make $5,000 a month from doing this, of course I'm gonna spend more time and energy doing the live streams and making these lives. But until I know that this is something 100% worth focusing on, be careful. Same thing with relationships. How many times do you find a guy or girl and you fall for this person, you go on a date or two and you think, oh my gosh, it's happened to me many, many times. And it's hard to follow my own advice, but I'm hoping I'm listening to myself right now. There was this girl about 5 months ago and oh my gosh, I fell for her so hard. And we were getting along so well. And I thought that she felt exactly the same way about me. But she didn't. And I fell captive to her siren ways. And because I focused so much on, oh my gosh, it was crushing when that didn't work out. It was why, be careful. It's better to diversify. When you're dating, better to date a bunch of people so you don't get your heart broken until you know for sure, whoa, this is the one. This is the girl or guy who I'm gonna now spend my time with. How many times do people get married? Think of Britney Spears. Britney Spears got married to that guy on Friday night in Vegas. And then on Sunday, I think she got divorced. That's a whole other lesson is research first, then be impulsive. Which is kind of the same thing about diversify, and then start to focus more clearly when you know for sure that something is worth spending that time in. Same thing, research first. Do a lot of research, which is basically diversifying your relationships, your stocks, your investments, your business pursuits, your skunk works. When I say skunk works, I mean if you have a business, you're trying to invest in risky things. My skunk works right now is YouTube live. Let's see if this thing could actually take off on a large scale. Another skunk works is still my company, breakdiving.io. By the way, guys, I'm super excited. Somebody from one of my YouTube live streams actually just joined Breakdiving. And I'm really excited about that. And I'd love more of you guys to come to Breakdiving. It's a global, not-for-profit personal growth and mentorship community that I created at breakdiving.io. Okay. Jesse says TikTok is pure brain rot. I really do believe it. I don't like the way it's set up. It just encourages you to just be addicted and just keep watching to a bunch of baloney. And Jesse, no problem. That's where we got different moderators here. Great to have you here. And let's see. And let's see. Looking here in these comments, trying to catch up here. By the way, can somebody put the time in Eastern time in the chat so I know how far behind I am? And Bop Top says hello. Travelers here. Liam says, no harsh feelings, bro. Don't attempt to ask me a question which you're too lazy to corroborate. Much love, brother. I think I answered your question. I'm not sure. You let me know. And Traveler says, it says you said you went for milk. Now I find you on YouTube. I have no idea what you're talking about, Traveler. Okay. Yeah, Jesse's talking about where he lives, about homeless shelters. Completely agree. Booplop says, I'd take knife crime over gun crime any day. Booplop, have you ever been slashed by knife and had... Tell you this, it is just as brutal. And there can be just as much damage. Look at this. If it weren't for knife crime, we wouldn't have had 9/11. Because it's because of the box cutters that they brought onto the planes that allowed them to take over the planes. Never for a moment think that knives are not a potential weapon of mass casualties, because it absolutely could be. Just be careful of that. I would rather have no knife crime and no gun crime. That's the correct answer. Not I'd take knife crime over gun crime. No, both of them are horrific and horrible. I do martial arts. I study Krav Maga, and one of the lessons they teach us regarding knife fights is don't think that you're going to avoid the knife and do all these magic things. He goes, assume if you're in a knife fight, you're getting cut. You're getting cut. Your mission is to make sure you do not get cut on the femoral artery or in the jugular or somewhere where you're going to really be, down for the count, or stabbed in the heart. I don't know. In some ways, gun crime might be a little bit easier to handle than knives. It all depends on the situation. And let's see. My thoughts on Joe Rogan. Hey, Christy Moreno, how are you? My thoughts on Joe Rogan. And I don't know. What I do know about Joe Rogan is that he's no longer the #1 Spotify podcaster. I think I heard it's Tucker Carlson. But that may be changing. I'm not sure. And Joshua says America doesn't have enough mental health care. I agree with you there, Joshua. That is we can agree on that point. And I heard 130 hotels hired migrants out of 160. Booplop says America spends too much money on its military and not enough on making things better. Booplop, you don't understand that part of making things better and keeping them as they are is keeping our military strong. Part of the reason why that Ukraine got invaded is because Putin did not believe that Joe Biden would do anything. And that's basically true. What have we really done? We're just giving... it should have been a much bigger deterrent than what Joe Biden provided. And freedom is not free. People who have not served in the military, or people who have not lived in a third world country, or people who have not lived under a very difficult governmental regime do not understand how important the military is to, quote unquote, making things better. Too much military rule, like martial law, well, that's a problem. But in some cases, martial law has actually resulted in things getting better. Not always, but sometimes. And yeah, Braden says it's a constitutional republic, not a democracy. Correct. I say a representative democracy or representative republic. Correct. Isaiah's bringing some humor into this. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck? 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck? I think 100 duck-sized horses. But if you remember the movie Jurassic Park, remember those little guys that Newman went to, and they looked so cute? And then, right? Those things killed poor Newman. And those were about 100 duck-sized horses. So, and no problem, Jesse. Like a challenge. One horse-sized duck. Need a VPN. What else we got here? Can someone tell me the time? I don't know what the heck time it is. In the chat. I'm trying to see how far behind I am. Blake Weed says I'm black and I'm a Trump supporter. There are a lot of black people who are Trump supporters now. Apparently, Republicans before Trump used to be it was like 6% of the population, of the black population voted Republican. Now I think it's like 22% is going to be voting for Donald Trump, which is significant. Very, very significant, guys. Not a Cult of Personality is back. How are you? Good to see you. And let's see. And Joe Biden for president. Joshua Walsh's policies, the only thing that we know about Walsh's policies now are of what he's done in Minnesota. And haven't been very happy with some of the things that he's recommended there. And certainly not during the riots. So you're right. I don't know what Walsh's policies are because neither he nor Kamala have really explained anything. And I'm waiting for them to give a good press conference and say what we're going to do. All she's saying is we're going to bring down inflation. How? You've screwed up the inflation already. What are you going to do? We'd love you to bring down inflation. And guess what? If Kamala Harris can give me a better plan than Donald Trump for bringing down inflation, maybe I might actually consider her. If she would support women in athletic events, maybe I'd consider her. But so far, she is not giving me a lot of reasons to support her. And let's see. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Not a cult of personality. Joshua says you identify as a moderate. Objectivity doesn't matter. I consider myself as a moderate Republican. I wouldn't say I'm a moderate, if that makes sense. I'm definitely a conservative, but I'm not a far right. And just so you guys understand where this continuum is, the left likes more government. So if you take leftism to its logical conclusion, it is complete totalitarianism. That's why fascism is closer to the left than the right. Because what does the right gravitate towards? More freedom, less government, which means you take the right all the way to the extreme, it's complete and total anarchy. So the left is trying to convince us that the right is fascism. No, the far right is anarchy. The far left is fascism. The far left is Nazism. The far left is totalitarianism. That's it. If you have the left and the right, political parties are either for more government or less government. That's the main distinguishing factor. So therefore, the left is for more government, which means they eventually would lead to totalitarianism. The right wants less government, eventually would lead to anarchy. The truth is, you can't have either of them. We don't want anarchy and we don't want totalitarianism. That's why we have to have a moderate solution. And I believe Donald Trump is the more moderate solution. I believe Kamala Harris is the far more extreme solution. Joshua says Trump rejected a moderate border bill. It wasn't a moderate border bill. It was a half-ass solution border bill. That's what it was. And Trump basically said, no, we need to make sure that there is a border bill that actually solves the problem on a long-term basis. So I agree that it should not have been accepted. Hey, CLVR. Mulchman says, thanks for being a free thinker. Thank you for acknowledging that. Elon Musk should release a cologne and call it Musk. That's funny. It should smell like money and multiple divorces. Hey, you should write that on X and you'd get a lot of retweets, I think. Hey, Darlene, how are you? And so you support war. Joshua Taylor, no, that's not what I'm saying. Son of Seth says PTSD here too. Nothing wrong with it. Anyone who's gone through something very traumatic or something very scary or anxiety-inducing, that could happen. And Joshua says you're doing correlation, not causation. What policy in the U.S. caused the Ukraine war? Weak foreign policy, Joshua. Everyone knows that. We even know now Biden was not running the country. He wasn't running it then. He's not running it now. And just like Obama had this fake red line that as soon as it was crossed, nothing happened, Russia knew that you have a Democrat in office. They are globalists, and they are not going to take action when there's a serious military encroachment. Why didn't Putin invade Ukraine while Trump was president? People say because Putin and Trump are friends. Well, then maybe we should become more friendly with our enemies. Have you heard that expression, keep your friends close and your enemies closer? Putin did not want to piss off Donald Trump. Rightly so. Putin didn't care about pissing off Biden because he knew that Biden was going to do absolutely nothing when the invasion happened. Potato Tech is here. Trapstar says Biden 2024. And Potato Tech, I think this guy, Monroe, has some fantastic points. Two people can come to a problem with the same information, the same experiences, come out with different solutions. And that is 100% the truth. And going back to this, the topic of today's stream, which was be careful what you focus on. Blockbuster and Netflix both came out with different solutions. Blockbuster chose the wrong one. That's why I know that the left, many people on the left, I think even Joshua here, Joshua's going to get upset here. Joshua I think he has America's good interests at heart, we hope. But I think the policies that he's supporting by supporting Harris and Walz is going to come out with a very different solution for this country that I don't think he understands. And what did they say? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And I don't want to end up in hell. I don't want to live in an America that is hell. I don't want to end up being forced to go move to another country because living in the United States has become untenable. Let's hope not. And let's see what else we got. Trump will make it. If he doesn't, we're in trouble, says Manda. Trapstar says free Palestine. By the way, when anyone says free Palestine, I always just remind them, you don't murder people at a picnic, take them hostage, then rape them, and then, say, we want to come to the negotiation table. We don't want to do that. They should have tried to come to the negotiation table first before Hamas did what they did. And now we all know that Iran is supporting this whole thing. So essentially, if you're supporting Palestine, you're supporting Iran. And I don't know how anybody in their right mind can support Iran. And I hope nobody on this live stream, even including you, Trapstar, is supporting Iran and their policies towards freedom, towards women, towards economics. Not good, my friend, not good. We got Revelation here. Total hypocrisy from Monroe, says Joshua, but no surprise there. Jesse needs advice, okay. And what else we got here? I'm still waiting for somebody to put the time in the live chat so I know what time it is. I'm trying to catch up on all these live streams here. And buy me a Vision Pro. Oh my gosh, the Vision Pro. I was talking about that a long time ago, guys. Monroe says you're going to get a quarter of the amount of money. They said, no, it's not a quarter. I get 70%. So I did my research. So once we do Super Chat, if I get approved, let's say somebody sends me $10, I would get $7, YouTube would get $3. And I think that's very reasonable, that the creator gets 70% and the marketer and the agent gets 30%. Not bad, not great, but it's not terrible. It's certainly not me getting only a quarter. And Yasmin is in the house. Not a cult of personality, doesn't give Hollywood money anymore. Probably a good idea. And what else do we have here? Oh, Delta Knight is getting a leg tattoo while watching this. That's very cool. Well, yeah, we want to know what kind of tattoo. And Delta Knight, a British flag, because I'm getting a tattoo for every country I visit, and right now I'm in England. I hope you're getting flags that are relatively small, because soon, there are more than 150 countries in the world, and if you're a big if you have a big Wanderlust, you might lose canvas space, Delta Knight. CLVR, no, you can get your ears pierced at 13. I think that's fine. I still would talk to your parents first, or your grandma. Make sure that she supports it, and if so, then you're all good. And God, I'm trying to catch up here. Visiting Scotland. Yasmin, you got 33 subscribers now. So you're almost at the capacity where you can do your live broadcast. I'm looking forward to that. Angeli's in the house. How are you? Go to Ireland next. Still, Joshua, I don't think it was an attempted insurrection. I really don't believe it. Look at history. Look at history and you'll see what an insurrection really was. I think it's just some overzealous patriots. And the Capitol Police led them to believe that they were not doing anything wrong, and they let them in. And I think a lot of people were wrongfully imprisoned. And I also think that's another reason why I'm hoping Donald Trump is elected, because I think he can pardon all those people who were put into federal prison. And Delta Night, Mongolia. Awesome country. Go to Mongolia. And Jesse's getting tired. Yeah, I'm getting tired too. And what else have we got? All right, Jesse, I'll see you later. Have a great night. Good to have you here. And Carvey says, I remind him of Sheldon. I'm not as smart as Sheldon, but I am certainly far better spoken than that guy. 100%. Bye, Yasmin. And, do we have no more moderators in here? 508. So 56. So what? 508. Joshua, I have no idea. What is that? Are you talking about I need the time in New York time. I don't know where you are, Joshua. You can knife someone from a distance. Depends how good you are at knife throwing. And you might laugh and say, well, that's not... I don't know if you've ever fired a pistol, Joshua. It's hard to hit a target. So, I mean, a lot of times, and especially when you've got stress going on, you're moving them, you may not be able to hit even from 25 feet away. You might not miss, and you might not get on target. So, again, I would be scared at a knife show, at a knife fight, or a gunfight. Both of them scare me. I do not want to be in either of those types of fights. And someone says I need chicken and dumplings. That would be yummy right now. Booplop says if I had to choose, I'd rather be in a city with knife crime than gun crime. I don't know. I don't know. I honestly think I'm not sure what I would feel about that. I honestly think maybe the night. It depends. How close are you when you walk around with other people? How good of a shot are people with their weapons? Are they good at knife throwing? Someone who's really good at knife throwing can throw it from a very far distance, and it hits the target, and it hits a tree and goes right into the tree. So, and there are some people who have a gun and they shoot and they can't even hit you from 20 feet away. So it really, really depends. Hey, what's up, Rabbit Gamer? Good to have you. Jer, great to see you. Long time no see. Rabbit's going to enlist. You're in the 10th grade, so you got 2 more years and you can enlist. That's great. Hey, Blair Chambers. I don't think people are waiting for a president to change their life. I think they're looking for a president who's going to prevent the slow, gradual decay of a culture and a nation. The truth is, between Donald Trump winning and then Joe Biden taking over, I didn't see any huge, major, dramatic changes immediately. But you see the gradual changes. I mean, the economy is not going so well now. And that took 4 years to happen. The illegal immigration system is falling apart. That didn't happen overnight. That took 4 years to happen. And what else? The foreign policy decisions of the United States, that didn't devolve overnight. That happened over the last 4 years too. So it's not that, so Blair, it's not that your life is going to change immediately. But your quality of life is going to change depending on who is leading your country over the long period of time. So, Jer says, me personally getting paid $40K to be yelled at, verbally abused, alcohol abuse is not worth it. Veteran Affairs doesn't offer much at all. So I have a different position on that. I was very proud to serve in the military. I agree it's a bunch of bureaucratic decision making happening. Sometimes it's very difficult to get through a day. Yes, you're putting out your life on the line, but I do appreciate that I served in the military. But I tell you, it's changing my mentality in a way, because the country that I was serving when I joined the military in 1999, it's not the same country that people are joining to serve today. And that may offend some people, but this is not the same country that I was living in 1999 when I joined. And so I understand what you're saying, Jer. I think there is a lot less pride in the country than there used to be, because it's not only has the country been ragged on and just insulted by the left for so long now. I mean, the American flag is a dangerous thing to fly these days. I mean, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I tell you this, I guarantee you in China, you can fly the Chinese flag wherever you want, however big the flag is. In America, counties and cities are suing companies and individuals and HOAs for flying American flags. Like, that's a big problem. You shouldn't be penalized for showing patriotism. 8:14, so I am about 20 minutes behind on this live chat, but I'm going to catch up. So guys, if you're just joining and you put something in the chat message, I will get to it. It's just taking me a little bit of time to get there. And Jer, I do agree with you telling what Rabbit Gamer is saying. I'm so glad that I joined the military as an officer. I did go to basic training as a private, but as soon as I got out, I went to officer candidate school and I became a second lieutenant. I think it's a lot easier life, and you get a little bit more respect if you are a commissioned officer. Bob Cox says black women can't stand Kamala's lies. I've seen that. I've heard that it's not a guaranteed vote just because someone's a black woman, which is good, as it should be. And Joshua says they've done like 4 rallies, but they're not real rallies. They're piggybacking off of other rock stars. I'd like to see Kamala Harris and Tim Walz just show up and do a rally with just the two of them, because the people are not coming to see Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. They're coming to see, like the last one was Bob Iver, was the big act. Everybody came to see Iver sing. And then Kamala Harris and Tim Walz gave a speech there. But it was not a Harris-Walz, it was not a Harris rally. Harris is not rallying the people. And I still have yet to hear a very big plan on what they're going to be doing. Joshua, if you can send me a link or tell me where to go to read about her plan, maybe a website like Kamala for President, I would love to read that. I'll even share that with people here on these live streams. My mission is not to pull the wool over anyone's eyes, and I'm not just a spokesperson for Donald Trump. I consider myself a spokesperson for America. And if I can get some information about Kamala Harris's proposals for the country, don't you think my people here watching would want to listen to that? I think they would, because then they can become more well-informed. Whether they agree or disagree, at least they know the facts on the ground. Yeah, ASVABs are tough. ASVABs are tough. Yeah, doing ROTC in college is a good idea. Yeah, what is captain school? Joshua says the right wants to enforce traditional values. Yes, exactly right. Traditional values are good values. Values like, hey, if you're my daughter and you want to compete on the girls' volleyball team, when you get to college, you're not going to get destroyed and spiked by some brute of a man who's going to hurt you and destroy you. That's a good traditional value. A traditional value, you should follow the law. And when you go to a country, you should get a passport and a visa and arrive there legally. And when your visa expires, you should go back to your country to get a renewal. These traditional values are not far right. They're just being normal. The left wants to just get rid of entire traditional society and create crazy land. I don't want to live in crazy land. I'd like to live in the United States that I grew up in and that I love. And yeah, Bob Cox, the bill had way too much fluff. I agree. Hey, Kill the Batman, good to have you. Oh, I can't wait to see Elon interviewing Trump. Bob, I think it's on 12th, right, guys? If you guys don't have X, I recommend you get X, if only for this one reason. Elon Musk is doing an interview of Trump, or Trump is interviewing Elon. I don't know. I think it's August 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Anybody who's voting in this election should watch that. Anyone who's just in this country, in the world, should watch it, because those are two very powerful people who I think you should want to know what they have to say. And Rajeep says, where did I serve? I served at Ground Zero, 9/11 in New York City. I also served in Kuwait and also in Iraq. And Casey Cooper, let's see. So he's giving a quote from the Bible, from Job 22:24. If you give up your lust for money and throw your precious gold into the river, the Almighty himself will be your treasure. He will be your precious silver. I don't know if that is Job 22-24, but I like the sentiment. It's basically what Jesus said. Don't store your treasures on earth because they can't go to heaven with you. You should store your treasures in heaven. Trust in God. Trust in things that have eternal value. And even if you're an atheist, that's a wise thing. Don't focus on money. Focus on the things like your family. Focus on supporting your community, things like that. And Rabbit Gamer, your tax money is going to Ukraine, Israel, and the military. It's going everywhere. Your tax money is basically, for any American, your tax money is going to everything you support and everything you don't support. So it's just a big old mass of waste. A big mass of waste and garbage going to everything you hate. And Joshua, I have yet to see Israel killing innocent children in response to what Hamas did. So again, if you can point that out to me, I would be happy. I've been hearing this from a lot of people. I've not seen one legitimate story showing that Israel's defense forces are killing innocent children. I don't think so. And 8:22. Okay, I'm about 20 minutes behind. And Jer says, I'll never understand people who enlist. How about go through a college program for the military? They'll make you an officer. A lot of times I think they don't know about it. But I'll tell you this, Jer. I was in Iraq with somebody who was in college. He enlisted to get money for college. And then apparently in his senior year, he got deployed to Iraq with my unit. And he was complaining that I cannot believe I'm still in this country in Iraq. The only reason I joined the military was for a college education. This is baloney. Why am I here? And I said, dude, you shouldn't have joined for college. You should have joined because you wanted to serve your country. And as a bonus, you got to go to college. Any of you watching this, or any of you have friends, do not join the military because of the benefits they're offering you. Join because you want to serve your country. That is the only reason why you should serve the military. and I don't think they should be offering, I don't think you should be getting money just to enlist and things like that. I think it should be, hey, if you serve, then you get the GI Bill. If you serve, once you do, then you get the, I don't think dangling the carrots is good because people end up enlisting for the wrong reasons. I joined the military because my dad was in World War II. I saw Saving Private Ryan, and I thought, wow, all those people died so I could pursue a career as an actor, and I wanted to give back. And then I saw In the Army Now with Pauly Shore, which made me laugh, and I basically ended up, those are the reasons why I joined the military. What's up, Colton? How are you? Mr. Good Cat, always lurking in the background. I didn't know he was still here, but he's still here. It's 8:26. Oh, I'm getting towards the bottom. I'm very excited. Check battery, grab a drink. I've got my thing plugged in. I do need to get a drink. Thank you, Mr. Good Cat. I'm gonna go grab something delicious here. All right. I tell you, this live stream here, I think we're gonna get about 50 to 60 hours of watch time, which means we'll be at 3,260, I think, after today. So we're getting very close to being also able to show ads on these videos. Fingers crossed. All right. Put this away. You know, something stinks in my kitchen. Let me just tell you that. So I've got a big plan. I've got to go on a reconnaissance mission, a search and destroy mission, when we're done with this live stream, because I do not want to go in there and smell whatever that was again. Yuck, yuck. Let's see. That's right. Thank you. Thank you, Jer, for correcting the grammar. See, my mods are good. They're learning to become teaching assistants here on my live streams. Northern Damo says, guns can cause chaos more quickly. Not quicker, more quickly. Adverb, modifying the verb. Can cause chaos more quickly, but a knife is extremely personal, potentially more dangerous. Yes, I agree. And Aubrey has expanders. I don't know what an expander is, but apparently that he's not doing so well with that. Booplop says, another perspective, a city with gun crime will also have knife crime, but a city in a country where guns are legal will only have knife crime, so will generally be safer, right? You can make that argument, and logically, Booplop, you may be correct, but people can still get guns, as far as I understand, on the black market in places like the UK, and maybe they will find other methods of committing the crime. Now, but here's the other issue too. This issue also, because I'm an American, I don't know if you are, but it's about the Second Amendment, which I'm a big supporter of, and I'm a proud lifetime member of the National Rifle Association. In the United States, we have to find a solution that does not infringe on the Second Amendment, but that also reduces gun crime in the country and it reduces suicide by gun. I mentioned on another live stream that I was talking about that they showed in many situations where someone who was trying to commit suicide by gun, when that gun was removed, they typically did not go and commit suicide via another method. Meaning if you remove the gun, in the book, it's a book by Malcolm Gladwell called Talking to Strangers, and he's saying that suicide and guns are coupled. Meaning a suicide is a coupled phenomenon. And if someone is inclined to suicide by gun, if you can remove the gun from that person, they're not inclined to go find another way to kill themselves because for whatever reason, they wanted to kill themselves by gun. So I agree, Booplop, that if we got rid of guns from many people who are predisposed to use them in a malicious or self-harming manner, we can reduce the crime. But I don't want any of those laws to remove the guns from people like me, who is not going to use it in a malicious manner or to harm myself. And so the United States is a very unique place because we have this love affair with guns. But we also have a love affair with freedom and a love of our people. So I agree with the left that we need to reduce gun crime dramatically, and I don't believe the right does enough to reduce gun crime. But I also don't believe the left are considering how important the Constitution is and how important it is that we keep guns available for people who lawfully are able to have them and mentally are able to have them as well. So that's my take on the guns. The 90s were the best, says Mr. Goodcat. I'd say the 80s and early 90s were pretty good. And Jer says the issue with taking away guns is only the law-abiding citizens will agree. Every single criminal, says Jer here, will keep their guns hidden away and illegally manufacture more and more unsafe guns. That's the whole thing about gun control, why it just doesn't make sense. If I wanted to get an illegal gun in Miami, don't you think I could figure out how to get one? It's a lot easier to get an illegal gun than it is to go to a store and buy a gun legally. So in some ways, all of the restrictions keeping people from buying guns is just pushing people more and more into the black market gun market. Look at Prohibition in the 20s. It didn't get rid of alcohol. It created a whole bunch of speakeasies and where people could find alcohol illegally. So there, I love Thomas Sowell, and he has a book called, I'm looking around there, Applied Economics. And one of the things, the big concept where he talks about through the book is failing to consider phase 2 and phase 3. So politicians and people, Americans and Brits and anyone in the world, they have these strong opinions. Guns kill people, we need to get rid of the guns. But that's a phase 1 solution. They don't think of what's the phase 2 result. And then the phase 3 result of phase 2. So you ban all the guns. Well, guess what? There are still millions of guns in America. So you get rid of all the guns from the law-abiding citizens. The only people that are going to have guns are all of the criminals. And you're now forcing law-abiding citizens to hide guns illegally. Do you think if we have a forced mass gun buyback program that they did in Australia, do you think that's going to go over well here? I don't think so. Do you think, and if, let's just say it's forced. I know in Australia it was not forced, it was voluntary, I think. Even if they had, let's just say they had a forced buyback program, and the police are knocking on everybody's doors going, we know that you might have guns. Do you have guns? To be honest, I don't know if I would comply if someone came at my door and said, you need to turn over your guns. Maybe I would lie and say, I don't have any guns anymore. I gave them all away, or I lost them. Because that's pretty scary. This is why we were able to fight back against the British during the American Revolution, because we had access to muskets. We had access to guns. And the Constitution, the Second Amendment, was created precisely for the reason that they didn't want another king, the King of England, to become a despot over the United States. So, and again, you can't take the guns away from the Americans. And if they do come after the guns, there will be a civil war. Someone asked me earlier, when will there be a civil war in America? When there's a forced confiscation of guns. I guarantee you, there will be civil war. And it's not going to be pretty. It will be the American citizens against the government. And that's going to... Oh, God, got frozen there for a second. Okay, countries never stay the same for very long, says Joshua Taylor. You're very right, 100%. And that's the truth. And it goes back and forth. And it goes back and forth to those big left and right, of despotism to anarchy. And what did the United States create after they had their independence? It was not the Constitution, it was the Articles of Confederation. It was a very anarchistic, when I say anarchistic, I'm saying they did not want a strong federal government. They didn't want forced cooperation. It was just a little Articles of Confederation. We're like, hey, we're just gonna get together and have a little cup of tea. Until they finally realized, you know what? We need something stronger. Then the Constitution was created, the federal government was created, the three separation, the judiciary branch, the executive, and the legislative branch. And then guess what? There was no income tax in the United States, I think, until the early 1920s. Can you believe that? People just think that we had an income tax forever. We didn't have an income tax for most of the United States history. And what's now, the country is going from, we got so fed up with the British and the way that they were treating us as colonists that we fought against the English Empire, and then we created our own freedom and created something that was a very loosely controlling document, the Articles. And then what have we got today? A federal government that is so strong that there's something called the deep state. And that we don't know what the heck is going on. We don't know where our money is going and what's going on with our taxes. So now we're going back towards a larger federal government. And just like Joshua said, maybe we'll come back more to the center. Maybe we'll go even farther to the left. Maybe we'll collapse like the Roman Empire and someone else will take over the United States. Who knows? Emily says, how are you feeling about the new Arnold Schwarzenegger character? Emily, do you want me to, do you really like that German Arnold Schwarzenegger character? We have to help develop the character a little bit more. Rabbit Gamer said it might sound homophobic, but the pride flag is ruining the country. It's not a pride flag. It's like the pride flag is a separate country. You got the United States flag, you got the British flag, and then you have the pride flag. And it's overtaking a lot of the discourse in many different countries. You guys know I have no issue with LGBTQ. Do what you want to do. Love who you love, as they say. But the problem is when it starts to interfere with every aspect of other people's lives. As I said, I want to start wearing a t-shirt that's all the colors of the rainbow and it says reclaim the rainbow. And so people will think that I'm supporting that gay movement, and they get close and they realize, no, I'm trying to bring back the rainbow colors to everybody. Because I think the rainbow is for everybody. Why is it only for one group of people? That's very selfish of the gay community. Very, very selfish. And the same thing I talk about too is like, why do we need to have a whole month for Pride? We have one day a year celebrating the independence of the United States from England. But we have an entire month celebrating who you're sleeping with? It's kind of weird. It's undeniably weird. There's no hate here, and I'm not encouraging any action. I'm just saying it's kind of weird that we have a whole month celebrating that. I'd like to have maybe one day of that and an entire month of July celebrating America's independence from England. Yeah, but of course the left would be furious with that. We cannot have a whole month celebrating the independence, the patriotism of America. We must ban patriotism. Booplop, in which country do you live? I'm curious. And Team Awesome says solid. Robert Gamer, I do not care at all what flag people fly around. It's not so much flying it around. It's about, like, I really don't care about the flag itself. They can have a flag. I just don't like that the flag is all the colors of the rainbow. Before that Pride movement took off, I could walk around with an umbrella that had all the colors of the rainbow, and it was not making a political statement. and now you're making a political statement, and that it shouldn't be the case. That is my only point there. And Jared says, I may disagree with it, but it's protected by the First Amendment. Yeah, so flag-wise, fine. But I really want the rainbow to be for everybody, and I really don't think we should be celebrating someone's sexuality. It's completely irrelevant. Do that on your own private time. You don't need to broadcast that to the world. Texas Rapo, we went scuba diving. Our OT tanks had American flags. They would not, no way. Texas Repo, that is absolutely crazy. Who would not allow it? I'd love to hear if that's an actual true story. And let's see, I don't think not allowing trans should be considered a traditional value. It's common sense and fair play. You're right, Booplop, 100%. Jer says the right wants to enforce traditional values like gay Republicans and trans patriots. Hey, there's nothing wrong with gay Republicans or trans patriots. And I mean that completely sincerely. I think that's fine. Good for them. That's good. And yeah, Elon Cartrezy says Elon suing advertisers for not advertising on Twitter is hilarious. But that's not why he's suing them. It's that there was an actual organized attempt to reduce competition, which is illegal. That is illegal in the United States. You cannot get together. It's called price fixing, basically. Like if there are 4 pizza shops, and if 3 of the pizza shops all get together and say we are all going to work together with our prices, and we're going to fix prices to make sure they're all together, you can't do that. So basically, that's what this GARM organization did. And they were organizing in private to try to drive companies out of business in a very monopolistic way. It's basically, in some ways, why Google just got found guilty of monopolistic practices. They were trying to fix the market as well. So it's not really hilarious in the sense that, so Cartrezy, your analysis of the legal situation, as many of you know I'm a lawyer, is not accurate. And I think you're getting your information from incorrect sources. He did not told the ads to not run and they left. Well, excuse me, he did say if you don't want to run your ads here, go advertise elsewhere. That's fine. But that's not what the lawsuit is about at all. And so just look at it. It's about this price fixing and collusion that these organizations are doing. I think the lawsuit will probably be victorious for Elon Musk and X. Definitely keep an eye on it. Let's see what happens. Pamela says, I think all non-indigenous should go back to their own country. Pamela, I think that means everybody, including the Indians, the Native Americans, because they're not indigenous to this country either. So that means, because this is a personal thing, I don't think Native Americans are really Native Americans because they came over on a land bridge from China and or Africa. So even they are not native to this land. We should all just get along and get over it. And Chair wants the Mexicans to band together and colonize. That's very, very funny. And let's see. Cartrezy says, Jesus says to treat Mexicans as if they're Americans. I don't think Jesus knew about the Mexicans or the Americans at the time. And yeah, Jer says, the government that controls the land is the rightful owner. I think that's what people don't understand. And that's why I'm so upset about people who are fighting for the Native Americans and indigenous people and all that stuff. This has been going on for thousands and thousands of years. One country comes in, takes over, the other country submits, then someone else takes over. It's like, look, this is just the history of the world. I mean, if we do that, then guess what? I mean, we go back to everything. Do the French have to give back the country to the Gauls? Do Does Italy need to give the country back to, I mean, whomever? I mean, technically, I mean, the Roman Empire owned, all of Turkey for at some point. Should Turkey be given back to Italy? And then you go, no, but it was Turkish lands before then. Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. It just keeps happening over and over and over and over again. And you guys are funny. The British would have took it if we didn't. Yeah, the British would have taken over all of what is now the United States if we didn't. And so, what's up, Goku? How you? Great to have you here. Welcome, welcome. And Veterans Affairs. Jared doesn't like Veterans Affairs. I don't like Veterans Affairs, but I do appreciate the VA hospital because I do get health care that's very good. And I've been very happy with my health care at the VA hospital. So I don't want to give a negative shout out to Veterans Affairs to Veterans Affairs in total. Maybe all of it stinks, but the one part that is really great is the veteran hospital. I was at the Bronx VA in New York, and now I'm at the Miami VA here. And both of them have been really great for me. All right, Rapper Gamer, good night. Can someone tell me what time it is? When should you, all right, Booplup says, when should you use whomever or whom, and when should you use who and whom? So let me see. I am an actual English teacher, and no one's ever asked that question. I may have to come back to you with it, but it should be like, let me see. Whomever. One thing is like, I believe. I'm gonna get razzed for this because maybe I'm not right. I believe if you're starting with a subject, it's whomever. So, for example, whomever is coming, raise your hand now. I don't think it's whoever. You know what? I'm not even going to answer that question right now, but Booplock, I'm going to, I can give examples of it, but I can't 100% explain it. It's like to whom am I speaking? Whenever you use that sentence, it's always to. To whom? It's not to who am I speaking. To whom am I speaking? With whom am I speaking? That's when you use whom. So those are two examples. I could basically give you examples of when to use them, not a hard and fast rule right at this moment. I'd have to look that up in my English handbooks. And so whomever is basically the same form of whenever. Like whenever you want to go, and with whomever you want me to go with, I will go. Let's talk about skydiving. And my friend Federico finally said, I'll do it. So, and let's just example. He said, all right, fine, Monroe, with whomever you want me to go skydiving and whenever you want me to go skydiving, I will go. Those are two examples of when you use whenever and whomever. And when do you use whom? It's always to whom am I speaking and with whom am I speaking. Those are the two places where I know you always can use it. All right. Jer says UK is better without guns because the gun culture is non-existent. But US is completely different due to the billions of guns out there. Yeah, exactly. I mean, people come here to the United States just to go on gun tourism because guns are illegal everywhere else. And like a lot of my German friends would come here and say, well, and they want to fire the machine guns here in Miami and fire Uzis and fire saws and M239s, and I think that is a saw, because you can't do that in their country. And people in China come here, people in Asia come here to do that. So it's a very different culture here. That's what I'm saying. We've got the Second Amendment, and it cannot be ignored. Mando says, who is this guy? Mando, you've been on my live stream all the time. Unless it's a different Mando. Maybe there are lots of Mandos here on YouTube. I don't know. Many gun dealers do their sales under the table. Yeah, I'm sure. Joshua Taylor says, does the background check stop the Second Amendment? Background checks are required for almost every gun sale in the United States. So background checks don't help. Look at that. The guy, the near Trump assassin, he used a lawfully purchased gun that was purchased with a background check. Guess who bought it? His father. So that's why this whole thing about the left and we need to have more background checks, we need more gun checks. It is not going to solve the problem. Read my lips. It's not going to solve the problem. And, oh, you live in Ireland, Booplop. But also, here's the other thing, Booplop. It's funny to say your name, Booplop. The United States is one of the third largest populated countries in the world, after China and India. So a lot of these countries try to compare, like Ireland or UK, and they go, in UK, we don't have guns and we don't have a lot of gun crime. Trust me, if the UK had a population as big as the United States, it would have gun crime, even with all of the laws prohibiting guns. It's inevitable. If you look at Europe as a whole, it's still smaller than the United States. There's gun crime as a whole and there are school shootings in Europe as a whole. People think it's only the United States that has school shootings. Search on the internet for school shootings in Europe or mass shootings in Europe. They still exist. I'm not saying that they're not greater here in the United States. It is. We got more guns, we got more people. So, I mean, again, you have to apply apples to apples and oranges to oranges, not apples to oranges. What works in one country does not necessarily work somewhere else. And I don't think he's King Trump. I think that's a misconception as well. I 100% believe that if Trump loses fair and square, he will accept that. And after 4 years, if he wins, he's going to transfer power peacefully. So to call him King Trump, I don't know, I think is just inaccurate. And what about the argument about semi-automatic weapons? Well, I don't know what argument you're talking about. I mean, a semi-automatic weapon means you can have like bursts. You know, boom, 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 boom. It doesn't mean a machine gun, just so you guys know. And again, I think it's more about mental health, 100%. I think mental health is the bigger problem. I mean, I have a semi-automatic handgun. I haven't gone out using it to cause harm or to harm myself, and I never will. So it has nothing to do with the semi-automatic feature. It has to do with who's the person behind it, who gets hold of these guns. And Joshua, don't you think, how many crazy, mentally crazy people have illegal guns in the United States because they're criminals? I'm almost certain there are more illegal guns in the United States than there are legal guns. And the left wants to focus on the people who have no mental issues and legally have guns with no criminal records. But instead, they're focusing and they want to. So you want to take your guns away from those people, but you want to let the mentally unstable, crazy criminals who actually have violent rap sheets run around with the illegal guns. If the left focused more on taking the illegal guns away, that would be a good start. Secondly, making sure that mentally, I don't want to say mentally challenged because that's politically incorrect now. People who are having mental difficulties, we need to make sure these people are getting the help they need and that they don't get access to guns. The guy that tried to shoot almost all of these school shooters in New York, there's something a little bit wrong with them. They're not completely well adjusted. They all are being bullied. That's another thing. Maybe the solution to the gun violence is reducing the bullying in schools that turns these people into people that hate society. Why doesn't the left ever talk about anti-bullying campaigns? It's always anti-gun. No, if we can turn people who are bullied into people who are confident, and if we can take those bullies and put them into remedial programs that teach them to be nice, maybe we're not going to have all of these school shootings. Again, this goes back to what I was saying with Thomas Sowell, the economist. Stop thinking phase one thinking. I want to think phase 2, phase 3. Think phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 causation too. Phase 1 causation is guns. We have gun violence in the United States. We don't have gun violence. We have criminal violence, and we have challenge from the mentally, I'm just going to say mentally challenged because that's what it is. Who's causing gun violence in the United States? Mentally challenged people and criminals. If we focus more on criminal, but the left wants to defund the police. And the left wants to allow criminals to come over the border illegally without any vetting whatsoever. Guarantee you, there are a bunch of illegal immigrants with illegal guns running around New York City, running around Houston, running around Los Angeles. I'm sure there are illegal immigrants right here in Miami with guns that they should not have. So I find the left very disingenuous because they only target issues that appeal to their political base. They don't actually want to, as Kamala Harris likes to say, find the root cause. And the root cause of gun violence is not the guns. Because there are many people who have guns in the United States who do not cause gun violence. So anyway, moving forward. And the founding fathers didn't say they would exist. Okay, I don't care. Let's see. We got fed up with the British. That's right. Create your own empire instead. Jer, I understand their rationale. The bright colors are flamboyant and the stripes mean all the different identities. But the rainbow is a natural phenomenon created by the refraction of light going through, the raindrops. Now, every time someone looks at a rainbow, they think of the LGBTQ movement. It used to be you look at a rainbow and you think, wow, maybe there's a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. Now it's, oh, that's right, it's reminding me of the Pride movement. And I don't think they were very smart, whoever did it. Good marketing, I give them kudos for that. By the way, we've been stuck at 39 likes for the last 20, 30 minutes. Can we at least get to 40 likes? Let's get to 40 likes. My voice is getting tired anyway, I'm leaving soon. But there we go, we got to 40. Thank you. By the way, thank you for subscribing if you haven't. And click the bell. Would love you to join the live streams. I talk about current events, motivation, and do some music, comedy, all great stuff. Joshua says, pride's not about sex, it's about emerging from oppression. Guess what? They've emerged, my friend. They've emerged from the closet with a lot of fanfare, and they do not need a whole month anymore because they're not oppressed anymore. I feel oppressed now as a white heterosexual male more than I think gay people feel oppressed. And I'm not being facetious here, and I'm not exaggerating. I honestly think the gay community is no longer oppressed at least in the United States. I'll say that. Certainly in certain Muslim countries, they are still oppressed to a very great extent. And I'm sure there are some people who treat the LGBT community terribly here, but guess what? There are people who cause everybody terribly here. People are terrible. People are sinful. People are mean and cruel. No one is exempt from being ridiculed at some point by some group at some point in their lives. It's just, that's the way it is. And yeah, we also have a whole month celebrating black people. I'm one of those people, and there are many blacks who agree that I don't think that's necessary either. I think black Americans are just as important as every other American. And I think we should be celebrating blacks every day of the year. We should be celebrating Asians every day of the year. Celebrating the whites every day of the year. Celebrating Hispanics every day of the year. I'm American first and foremost. I don't like all of the separation. I don't want everybody to be separated. I want to bring us all together under one roof. That's what I really want. Joshua, I totally understand what you're saying about that I could celebrate Independence Day every day if I like. No one will stop you, but it's not true. Because I just read this car dealership, I forget where it was ordered, and this I've seen this by many places where they fly these big American flags. They're being fined in order to remove the American flags, and it's not for safety reasons. It's not for issues with conflicts with the FAA and air traffic control. It's just they don't want a big American flag being flown. To me, that's being told that you cannot celebrate Independence Day every day if you like. But I do agree that yes, you could not be openly gay for years. They were stopped. But I agree. But I think, guess what? You can basically be openly gay now, and it shouldn't be a problem. I mean, there are gay people when I was working at the law firm. Everybody know he was a big flaming gay man, and we joked about it with him. We laughed with him. I went out to gay bars with him. This and that. It's not an issue anymore. And now I honestly feel we need to have a whole Pride Month for real women. Because those are the people who are being oppressed right now. Women athletes should have a Pride Month. I think the issue with Pride too is, can't we all be proud? Why is Pride Month only for celebrating one group of people? Pride Month should be for everybody to be proud about something. But instead it's just about that one thing. Those are just my issues with that. And Christy says, what are my thoughts on Joe Rogan? You asked me that before, and I basically, first of all, I don't know, why do you think he's a shill? A shill for whom? Maybe that's the first question I should ask you. Yeah, that's true, Jer. The White House should not be putting up the pride flag. If they do, they should also be putting up the Republican flag. And the Democrat flag. They should also be putting up the flag. We should put up a different, I think the NRA has a flag. So I think we should put up the National Rifle Association flag. Yeah. I guess what I'm saying. The Pride movement is 100% political. It is a political movement. And you cannot disagree with that. That is what it is. And we should have that separation of church and state. And we shouldn't be putting up a Christian flag. We shouldn't be putting up the Pride flag. I think they're very part and parcel. Okay. Joshua says, you seem intelligent despite being a Republican. What are your thoughts on the existence of a deity? I personally believe in God. Everything I see in the world, and the more I study biology, I'm in pre-med at Miami-Dade College. I find it hard to believe that this was just a fluke and just an accident. And so I believe in God. I struggle with my faith, as anybody does. I'm a Christian, but I mean, there are some parts of the Christian story that seem a little bit far-fetched and I'm confused about, but I haven't found a better story yet. So that's the one I'm sticking with. Jer left, okay. Jer left Christianity to become an agnostic. And Sarim says there are so many good comments when you're on a subject, but you read them half an hour later. They don't make sense. We keep repeating the same topics over and over again. Focus on recent comments. Just saying. I could do that. Let me do a poll. We'll do a poll here. You can decide. Should I keep catching up on comments or scroll to bottom? Catch up is one option, and scroll to bottom. All right, this is the most important poll on YouTube happening right now. What do you guys think? I will give some time for the votes to come in. And seven votes. Whoa, guys, look at this poll. Look at this poll. So we got 50-50, guys. 50-50. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to catch up, but I'm going to skip over many of them just to try to get to the bottom. So don't be offended if I skip over yours. I'm just going to try to get down there. Okay. And Something about the object that's okay. Like conditional. I'm going very fast through these guys. Sarim says, stop commenting uselessly if you want me to catch up. Good advice. Good advice. Booplop says, I used to work in a company that did background checks, and I still found out I was sitting next to someone who was fleeing from Slovakia for child molesting for years. Background checks. Yeah, background checks are I put background checks on the same level as polygraphs. Polygraphs have been ruled unconstitutional by the US Supreme Court for use in civilian employment, but they're still allowed for federal employment, for government work. Polygraphs, good enough for federal work, but not for civilian work. So, and the background checks, you could do the absolute best job with background checks and you're still gonna miss something. So I agree with that. And Twism says no gun crime in China or India. First, we don't know if there's gun crime in China because of course we hear the news that the Chinese government wants us to hear. So let's put China to the side because we have no idea what's really going on there. But I do agree but the gun crime, I lived in China twice. And I will tell you that I did feel very safe there. But why did I feel safe there? Because that's one tough government. You imagine if you get arrested for gun crime there, you will never be heard from again. You will go to prison and it's goodbye. So people respect the law there in China. And in the United States, you carry a gun, we'll give you probation and go out and you can walk free. It's not a violent crime. He was just carrying the gun. I mean, we have a very messed up legal system here in the United States for criminal justice. And people who do terrible things get off easy. People who do, driving drunk, I think is one of the most terrible offenses in the United States. And the left is railing against people with guns. No, if you're railing against people with guns, how about all the people who are dying from drunk driving incidents every single year? You drive drunk, you should lose your license and go to jail for a year. That's your first offense. Second offense, you're in prison for life. I guarantee you drunk driving drops dramatically here in the United States. Hey says, thank you, how are you? Always a pleasure like that. Nice to see you too. And Boop Loop, I heard of statistics, more guns in America than there are people. It's probably true. I own 3 guns. So there's only one person in this apartment. And let's see, I'm trying to get to the bottom. How much does a gun cost? I bought a Glock 43X for about $300. That's a 9mm pistol. Okay, I'm going a little bit down to the bottom. And what else we got? More leprechaun representation with the rainbow. Okay. I'm trying to catch up here. Bob Cox says inflation is up 1 to 2% per million illegals. Now, good. Bob, that could be an issue of correlation leading to a false causation. So I don't know. But that is an interesting study to see. Yes, there might be a correlation, but is that definitively the causation? I don't know. It could be, and I could make an economic argument for that. All right, I'm trying to get down to the bottom, guys, of the catch. Booplop says, I think catch-up only works until you get more popular. I don't know. It's been working really well here. Look, it was 50-50. 50-50. Many people have told me that the reason they love my live streams is because I'm 30 minutes behind and I'm trying to catch up on the stream. So, and here's the thing. If I get to the bottom right now and your chat rapidity rate is very slow, the live stream is going to get boring very quickly, potentially. But I'll try it. I'll go down there and we'll see. And what is there to scroll down to? Darlene says, I'm totally worth catching up for. Darlene, you absolutely are, Darlene. Joshua says, China has a culture of conformity and unity. Individual freedoms are not as prioritized. You're right there, Joshua. That's correct. Jared says in China you get 40 years for marijuana. It could be. I don't know specifically. I don't smoke marijuana. I don't do any illegal drugs. So I never have to worry about that. Jared says U.S. should not penalize drunk driving too much. That's a terrible statement. Drunk drivers need to stop doing that. And the problem is most drunk drivers do not have any control over their drinking. That's my problem. I think drunk driving is in many ways a mental illness because they keep doing it over and over again. I worked as a public defender attorney. I can tell you how many times I represented the same people over and over and over again for what? Drunk driving. You remove their license, they drunk drive again. You put a breathalyzer on their vehicle, they get somebody else to start the car with the breathalyzer. I mean, it's like they have an addiction and they cannot stop. And I don't want one more person to die because of a drunk driver. That is absolutely terrible. And if in order to do that, we have to put some of these drunk drivers in prison for a very, very long time, I will 100% support that. I'll never back down from that type of policy decision because it's very irresponsible and selfish for drunk drivers to get into a car while they're drunk driving. And Jer, I don't know how old you are, but I tell you this, if you get into a car when you are drunk, shame on you. You are a terrible, terrible person if you get into a car while you're drunk. That applies to anybody. I'm not making judgments as people in general. You have very bad judgment if you do that. And I really hope that you guys will think twice and give your keys to a friend if you're drinking and you have car keys. Okay. Team Awesome says I had a song request, but Monroe is all serious. Is there a slow mode? There's no slow mode on mobile streaming. It's completely bonkers. So this is the thing. If I do live stream on desktop, I have all these great tools that I can use to control the chat. But the only people who are going to find the live stream are subscribers. So if I do hear it on the live stream with my phone, the great benefit is it gets put into the YouTube live stream feed. That's how so many of you people who don't subscribe to me are able to find my stream. But the bad side is I have absolutely no control over basically anything. And I'm hoping YouTube changes that eventually. And yes, Joshua, we do need a better public transport system. I wish we had trains like we have in Europe and China. Amazing. More trams, more trolleys. I don't like buses. I hate taxis. And I don't like Uber and Lyft. I like to be able to be on a train and read a book, take a nap, get things done, and not get seasick or motion sickness like you do on a bus. And hey, guess what? We got to the bottom. Hooray. Hooray, ladies and gentlemen. We got to the bottom of this live stream. So, do you guys have those terrifying anti-drunk driving ads in America too? No, I wish we would have some terrifying drunk driving ads in America. Booplop, can you maybe share some of those YouTube videos as a reply? Maybe some of those ads are on YouTube. I'd love you to put them as a comment on my channel. I'd love to see them. That would be fascinating. And let's see, Beeplop, they traumatized me as a kid. Jerry, I don't get ads anymore on my YouTube due to a VPN. Sneaky, sneaky. What's up, George? How are you? Team Awesome. I think when you're behind, because sometimes there's no predictability in life. I don't know, Team Awesome, was that a full sentence? That looks like a sentence fragment to me. So I'm not sure what that is. Booplop says, I can try, hang on. Jared says, Monroe being behind is funny. The UK has some crazy ones. Let me do a poll here. Want me to play one of my songs? So I'll let you guys decide here. I take no offense. So it's up to you to decide. I could also go for a walk and go take the dog out at the same time. But if you guys would like a song, I would love to play one. But it is up to you guys, the people who are viewing. So it's basically going to be, do you want a song or I'm going to end the live stream? So I'll see there. There's nothing to do because no one is typing. Jairus, addiction is not always a choice. Addiction is not a choice, but getting help is. That should be a great quote from Monroe Mann. Addiction is not a choice, but getting help is. All right, so 67% got it. So I'm gonna play a song or two. Guys, I need to use the toilet first. So whenever I use the toilet, I put you guys in the freezer. So, Jer, when people arrive here and they ask what the heck is going on here, you're gonna have to explain to them that I've put you guys in the freezer, but then I'm gonna come back out and I'm gonna play 2 of my songs for you, and then we're gonna head off. So, we're going into the freezer. Guys, here, you can see with my Bum Pops, my Hungry Man, my garlic naan. I need to go to the grocery store. Look, there's nothing in here. All right, I'm putting it in here. And there we go. And I will be back in a moment to see you guys. So hang tight. Do not leave. It'll be 2 minutes or less, and I will wash my hands. See you guys in a moment. Bye. Hello. Hey, what's up? Oh my gosh, I totally forgot you guys were in the freezer here. So, okay. All right, guys, we're gonna play a couple of songs, and then I'm gonna go take the dog out for a walk. I'm gonna set this up here on the tripod. I always put the ring light on because look at my teeth right now, right? Watch how white my teeth are gonna be when I turn on this. When I turn on the ring light. Gonna be pretty impressive, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. I'm trying to. Okay. Sorry, guys. Getting everything set up. Get the guitar over here. And plugging us in. All right. Look at those teeth. Whoa. Look at, I go from like a 6 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10 when I turn on this ring light. I have like a super smile when I do this. Okay. You want me to take the dog out with you guys? Hey, maybe I will. Maybe I will. All right. Oh, leave the freezer door open next time. Good suggestion. Very good suggestion. All right. All right, here we go. Let me see. Ugh. All right. I tried to play this one last time, and I forgot the lyrics to my own song. So I have the lyrics printed out now. So now it's going to work. This song is called Look Around, and it's just about keeping your eyes open to opportunities. This is my mom's favorite song of mine. Look around, tell me what you see. Is it me? Or do things look contrary to what you used to? Look around, are you pleased with what you see? Can it be that nothing in life is free, even love, that they say even money can't buy, can't buy, can't buy, can't buy. Look around, look around, look around. Look around, look around. Get your head off the ground and look around, look around. Don't look down and look around, look around. Yeah, 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 look around. Your feet have left the ground, you're in the air, and you don't seem to care that you're leaving. The only ones who love you behind. Look around. Is there more to life than this? Give me a kiss. Is there something that I missed? I feel alone, and all the memories are fading fast, so fast, so fast, so fast. Look around, look around, look around. Look around, look around. Get your head off the ground and look around, look around. Don't look down and look around, look around. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look around. Yeah, look around. Yeah, look around. Yeah, look around. Look around and around and look around, look around and around and around and look around, look around, look around and around and look around, around, look around and around and look around, look around, look around and around, look around, look around and around and look around, look around and around and look around. Look around and around and look around. Look around and around and around. Yeah, now I'm dizzy. Somebody asked if I could rap. You know what? I used to do a lot of freestyle rap on here. If you want, I'll do a freestyle rap now. Give me a topic and I'll do a rap. What's up? Hey, thanks, Darlene. I appreciate that for the compliment. So let's see, we'll do, boy, I haven't done the improv rap in a long time. I gotta get this off. So, Room Around wants me to talk about the headset. But let me tell you this, Kamala Harris making me upset. Joshua Taylor wants me to rap about King Trump. But let me tell you this, I think Kamala's got a little baby bump. Maybe she'll have to back out of the presidential race. Or maybe she'll leave because she doesn't want to show her face. Because I think Donald Trump, he's going to take the stage. He's so awesome. He's a magician. He's a mage. We got... Booplops telling me he wants an encore. He's telling me, Monroe, you'll want to hear more. I'm here on the live stream doing what I do. Some other guy before thought I was doing a big poo. But I tell you I was not. I was going #1. And then later today, maybe I'll sing about the sun. Follow Fall says, yo, I love it, man. Hip, hip, hop, hooray in the sand. Team Awesome saying, yo, it's Monroe all day. I'm telling you, make me happy. You make me want to pray. Praying to the God that some of you don't think exists. But let me tell you this. You don't want to be missed. Because when God comes to rescue you all from the death, or maybe you died because you took too much meth. I don't really know, and I don't really care. All I know is, yeah, I know I'm losing my hair. I started to talk like Rocco Tribbiani, that guy from New York. I'm trying to think of the word that rhymes with Tribbiani. Can you help me with a word that rhymes with Tribbiani? Pepperoni? I don't know. Yeah, talk that guy, his name's Rocco Tribbiani, and everyone wants to talk about his pepperoni. I don't know if that works. Oh, ravioli, Tribbiani. That's not bad. That's not bad. So Jer's now talking about a little ravioli. Joshua Taylor's now talking about punani. Rumor around saying, yo, what, there's a Chobani, and telling that is Rocco only drives a Maserati. Now I'm down on Miami Beach and it's getting real hot. And a lot of these people tell you that Monroe Mann talks a lot. All he does, he's yamma, yamma, yamma. But hey, all you guys do is spammer, spammer, spammer. You know, it's been a long time when I haven't done one of these raps. It really feels good to be back. And Joshua Taylor says the beer's hitting the spot. But a Trump supporter, I know you are not. But Jazz says bars so go, he's making no sense. And you know, in England, they don't use any cents. They got something called the pound, and it's worth a little more than the dollar. And if you want me to play a song, once again, all you gotta do is holla. So, Steve is saying, you guys are gay, gay. And I would say, hey, hip, 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 hooray. We got my gay flags and they're waving in the wind. But my political opinions I will never rescind. Joshua Taylor wants me to talk about Pence. But I don't want to talk about politics. I want to talk about a fence. And that big fence on the border of the US of A. I don't know why everyone here keeps telling me I'm gay. Joe Centrone says, don't lose your day job. But I was good enough that he left a comment, which makes me feel like a heartthrob. I know, Josh Taylor, you're talking about the currency. But I'm really worried about whether America will continue to be free. Isaiah's telling me I should have been the real Eminem. But I don't like to farm. I don't like those crazy hens. Lily Frommels is asking if this is Billy Bob. But does Billy Bob rap like this? No, no, no. Not so far. Jer's asking me to please do a collab with Sexy Red. Don't know who that is. Maybe he's crazy in the head. So Jer, if you want me to do a collab with this guy, you got to send him a private message and say, hey, I know some guy who will make your channel fly. His name is Monroe and he does a cool rap. He doesn't do it to your face, not talking behind your back. Lily Frommels is asking for Billy Bob. Maybe you'll get him. Maybe you're not. But hey, Lily Frommel, I'm going to do one more song. But I think maybe later tonight, you'll be seeing Billy Bob before too long. All right, so there's my rap, and I'm going to sing another song for you guys. Thanks for asking me to do a rap, because I haven't done that in a long time. And I forgot how much fun it is, and I forgot how much fun people thought that was when I did it. So Lily says, if you tell him my name, he will know who it is. Lily, Billy Bob said that you've left him for so long. You just disappeared for weeks and weeks. And he was very, very disappointed in you. This song is called The Sun Is Always Shining Somewhere. The sun is always shining somewhere. Yeah, the sun is always shining somewhere. And I know you can't see it, but right now the sun is shining through your hair. It's so bright, and everything is gonna be alright. Just get up and fight one more round, 'cause your beautiful life is coming right around the bend. And I send to you a confirmation of what you already knew. Stop being blue, 'cause I see you smiling in the light, in the spotlight of vindication. all your determination coming to fruition. It's a beautiful day. Don't give up. No, don't give up. Don't give up on the dreams. Don't give up. No, don't give up. What you're feeling is not what it seems. I know you're feeling that the world is out to get you. I promise that it's just a short-term dismay, but it's dark, you say it's a rainy day, yeah, yeah, yeah. But only for today. The sun is shining somewhere. Yeah, the sun is always shining somewhere. And I know you can't see it, but right now the sun is shining through your hair. So look up, 'cause you can't see the sun if you're looking down with a frown. It's time to rebound, back on top, back on track. And yeah, baby, you're all that. Did you know that you're awesome? And those who don't see that are blind and dumb and stupid, yeah, forget their little minds. 'Cause I'm happy that you're all mine. The sun is shining somewhere. Yeah, the sun is always shining somewhere. And I know you can't see it, but right now the sun is shining through your hair. So look up, you're already there. The sun is in your hair, you're already there. The sun is everywhere, you're already there. The sun is in your hair, you're already there. Thank you. That song is called The Sun Is Always Shining Somewhere. You can find it on Spotify, on Apple Music, on iTunes, basically everywhere. You can also watch the music video right here on my YouTube channel. So thank you for subscribing and watching, and making me feel like my music is actually, worthy of listening to. I appreciate that. Thanks, Lily. Thanks, Isaiah. Thanks, Darlene. Appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. You can click subscribe if you like my channel. You can turn on the bell. You can press like. I think we were at 47 likes. I think we should get to 50 likes. Don't you guys think so? Don't you think should we get to 50 likes? Cool. Let's do another one here. And okay. Now, a lot of people seem to like this song, so I'm going to sing this one here. Bear with me 1 second. Looking at my set list here. All right. This song's called Hollywood Girls. And I guess it's my song to remind you, don't give up on trying to find that dream guy or girl. Because I can't believe I said, can we get to 50 likes, and we're still at 47 likes. Is there anyone here who has not pressed the like button yet? Because we could really use 50 likes. 47 is such an odd number. So we'll see if we can get there. I think we can get there before the end of this live stream. Lily, did you click like yet? Darlene, Isaiah? Okay. By the way, I sing some of the horn parts because there's a horn and violin in this, but that's when me going like bam, bam, bam. Wam, bam, ba, da, ba, bam, bam. Bam, bam, ba, da, ba, bam. Ba, da, ba, da, bam, bam, ba, da, ba, bam, bam. Wam, bam, ba, dam, bam. I wanna go on safari with Mana Savari, swim the Bahamas with Julia Roberts, rapping around with Christina and Britney, and go to the beach with Christina Ricci. Hollywood girls are on my mind. I want them all to stand in line. I want them all to shake our hands. I want them all to become Monroe's fans. I want a tour to Italy with Angelina Jolie, and go back in with Anna Paquin and ride my moped with Jennifer Lopez and go to the movies with Cameron Diaz and run in the fields with Jessica Biel. I wanna hang nightly with Keira Knightley. I think I'm in love with Anna Kournikova. I wanna know more about Mandy Moore-Ikova. The Hollywood girls are on my mind. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-bum-bum. Think to stand in line. Ba-ba-da-da-da-da-da. I want them all to shake my hand. Bum-bum-ba-ba-da-bum-bum. I want them all to become Monroe Mann fans. Wham-bum-ba-da-ba-bum-bum. Wham-bum-ba-da-ba-bum. But you know it's true. Bum-ba-da-ba-bum-bum. The only girl I love is you. I wanna go on a date with Asher, Mary, Kate, and drink a Snapple. Oh my God, I need to drink a Snapple right now because my voice just got crazy. With Fiona Apple, I wanna be seen with Avril Lavigne and every other girl who's hot on the scene, like Halle Berry and Lucy Liu, Drew Barrymore and Sandra Bullock too. Gwyneth Paltrow's with a spoon. I wanna meet Pamela Anderson soon. Oh, Paris Hilton, come marry me. Hillary Duff, come set me free. Ryder Grips to find $1, Thurman and Flockhart. The Hollywood girls have captured my heart. The Hollywood girls are on my mind. Bum, bum, ba, ba, da, bum, bum. I want them all to stand in line. Da 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 da. I want them all to shake my hand. Bum, bum, ba, ba, da, bum, bum. I want them all to become Monroe Mann fans. Wham bum ba da ba bum bum. Wham bum ba da ba bum. But you know it's true. Bum ba da ba dum bum. The only girl I wanna kiss is you. Yeah, Joshua, I realized this song didn't age too well because nobody knows who any of these people are anymore. I have to change it. The only thing is there's no such thing as a Hollywood girl anymore. There's no such thing. There's no Hollywood stars anymore, and that's I don't know. It's just changed a lot. Let's see. You think you just fell out of a copa tree, swim in the Bahamas with Kamala Harris? I asked if I had to do this with other people, it'd be like, go to Paris with Kamala Harris and ride on a camel's hump with the President Donald Trump. What would it be? Who would be somebody famous now? Who's the guy that, yeah, I don't know. But Donald Trump's not a Hollywood girl. Neither is Kamala Harris. That's a problem. So. What's up, Yunjin? Yunjin, sending love from Korea. Yunjin, do I know you? Did we meet? Or are you just sending love from Korea? Do I know Yunjin? Is this? I think it's Yunjin. Is it my former student, Yunjin? I'm trying to click on the. I don't know. But anyway, Yunjin. 안녕하세요. 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 감사합니다. 감사합니다. Thanks, Isaiah, saying that I'm hilarious. I really want to sing another song. I don't remember any of my own songs, actually, which is a problem. You know, I have to make a list of. Oh, I got a song I could sing for you. One of my songs is called "I Miss the Summer," and it's have a great big feast with Mr. Beast. Yeah, but the only thing is, they're not Hollywood girls. Maybe it would be like the famous people are on my mind. Dun, 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 dun. Honestly, there is no famous Hollywood girl anymore. There's no, name one someone that everybody knows. You know, the only girl that's still really popular now is Avril Lavigne in that song, because she's still touring with Machine Gun Kelly and all those folks. So that's possible. This song is called I Miss the Summer. La da 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 dum, da da da. No. Oh, maybe Margot Robbie. Learn a new hobby with Margot Robbie. Maybe I should write a new version of the song with brand new people, just like Prince did. He did I'm Gonna Party Like It's 1999, and then it was We're Gonna Party Like It's 2000, blah, blah, whatever. So, all right, thanks guys for inspiring me. Team Awesome, you deleted your message. How come? That was a good one. And now I don't even remember what it was. But anyway. I miss the summer when the sun would shine all over me. I miss the summer when my life was so carefree. I miss the summer and the times when I didn't have a care. I miss the summer when the sun would blow right through my hair. Nothing makes sense anymore, I'm so lost, rolling on the floor. My life seems to have turned away from the happiness of yesterday. I miss the summer when the sun would shine all over me. I miss the summer when my life was so carefree. I miss the summer and the times when I didn't have a care. I miss the summer when the wind would blow right through my hair. All I wanna do is cry. My whole life seems like a lie. I wish the clouds would just give up and blow away and flow away, far away, far away, far away, oh, 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 far away, yeah, far away. So tell me, where did the summer go? I miss the summer so. Where did the summer go? I miss the summer so. Where did the summer go? I miss the summer so. Where did the summer go? I miss the summer so. Where did the summer go? I miss the summer so. Where did the summer go? I miss the summer. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you listening. What's the staff song you learned for Sarah? The only one I know, that it's Around the World. That was the one. Around the world, around the world, around the world. Wait a second. How did you know about that? I told Billy Bob that in confidence. Did Billy Bob tell you about Sarah? Oh my gosh. Wow. You know, you cannot trust that Billy Bob guy with anything. You can't trust him with absolutely anything around. Oh gosh, it's funny. Anyway, all right. I'm gonna put the guitar down, and I just want to check and see something. Hold on. No, hey. Yo, Billy Bob, stop. Hey, are you doing a live stream? Are you doing a live stream without me, Monroe? No, Billy Bob, stop. No, I'm ready to shut everything down. Hey, Monroe, Monroe, hey. Ow. Ugh. Hey guys, I've got control of the live stream. Monroe Mann thought that he was shutting down everything for the night, but Billy Bob is coming in just to say a quick cameo and say hello. That's right, Lily Formal. It is Billy Bob here in the flesh. Ben Hogan, good to have you. Team Awesome, Double Sticks, Bobble, that's great. I'm so happy you guys are here. I came here just to get that 50th like because we're stuck at 49 likes. We got 49 likes. We need to get to 50. We need to get to 50. I just beat up Monroe over there. You'll be okay. It's just a flesh wound. Don't you worry. He's having a problem over there. Lily, I'm doing okay. I have missed you very much. I've missed you so much. Boople, there. Hey, no, I don't have 50. I see 49. There's always one left for the host. So Booplop, we need one more. We need one more like. And I can help Monroe Mann go for a walk. We got to go a little bit more likes. I don't know. Maybe now we went down to 4 to 8. Sometimes we go down one like, and then we get another like added. That's it. No, Carl says you just got the like. I got a like removed. Now we're at 49 again. So we went from 49 to 4 to 8. And Billy Bob plays a little bit guitar. He usually plays a ukulele. But since this is a song day, I heard Monroe singing some of the songs. I'm going to sing you one song from John Denver, my favorite song. Country roads take me home to the place that I love. Louisiana, Bayou Mama, take me home. Gator roads. Yeah, Billy Bob sounds like he plays the spoons. He sometimes does. What's up, Carl? How you doing? We got 51 likes. And Billy Bob finishes the live stream. I am the headline act. Billy Bob is always the headline act on this live stream. So I just wanted to say, guys, hope you have a good one. It's very possible Billy Bob might come back for another live stream later this evening. So stay awake. Maybe in about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Towards midnight, we're going to do one more live stream to get some more watch time. You need watch time. You're pulling the big guns. The big guns are Billy Bob and America. Serving the world with pride since 1776. That's right. Thank you very much, guys. It's been a great time having you. Thank you for subscribing, clicking like, and spreading the good word. Maybe see you guys later this evening. You guys are fantastic. Bye, guys. Love you.